How you doing, guys? Welcome to the channel. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. I have a bit of a flu, and also, as you can see, my computer at that side, I decided to connect it. I I'm not. As you can see, this is not my usual spot, so I moved to another area. So I decided to connect it, and the connection was not working at all. So I had to use my brother's. Brother's laptop, and I'm pretty sure you can hear me. It's good you can see me. I'm going to improve the lighting. I don't have much lighting. I didn't bring my light stuff, so I'm going to have to improve a few things. But I'm pretty sure you can see me, so at least that's what's important. But at least I wanted to come on and do this show. I am very disappointed by that computer over there because uh, I thought the cable extension would work, but I think it's not working, so I had to get another one from Amazon. But welcome to the show, guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and drop a like. Drop a like. I don't know. Do you say very quiet? Can't you not hear me? I'm pretty sure you can hear me. Let me put the mic up. I'm gonna put the mic up. So if I put the mic up, maybe you guys can hear me. Wait. Let's see where is there's a place. Is that better? Can you hear me? I think that's too loud. The mic is too loud. Can you hear me, Kelkster? This guy says I can't hear. He can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Just turn your computer volume up a little, or the viewer. Have the viewer turn his volume up a little bit.
Yeah, he says better now. I've
Oh,
actually had to
good.
put it. Some people are going to be complaining because I put it at 200, so it's going to be very, very loud. But anyway, guys, this is the football. This is the weekend football review. Depending on Hamza, we'll do the Citizens of Chaos if he's not busy. Most times he's busy, but this is just the weekend review. I think it can be a nice show to do. It's something interesting to do most times. Let me just get my friend, Mister Mister. Bear with me for a minute. Let me see. Do I have this set up? I hate that desktop. It's really disappointed me. I don't even now look at this. I don't have all my setups. Do I have them? Uh, that one? Is it that one? Is it this one? I don't know. Is it this one? Maybe it's this one. We'll see. Yeah, Grant. I think it's this one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's this one. So
Mr. Daps is joining us.
yeah. He says he's coming on. So I don't know. I don't understand what he's wearing on this particular Friday. So what's that, Dubs?
The
What are
panda
you wearing
mask.
on? What are you wearing on this particular?
I'm just bringing it back. My panda mask.
Wait, was it a thing in your?
I used to wear it on the last day of the season to games.
Okay,
I don't know.
interesting.
Don't really. Yeah, it's because I had a panda outfit once, so Steve started calling me a panda. So then I thought I'll wear a panda mask to games. So
Oh, grand.
and
So
then it's too hot to wear it though. And then I left it in a hotel room after the last game of the season when we beat Liverpool to win the league, so our second league. And I was
what
thinking, and
you
I
left
left
it in a
it. I
hotel?
left it in a hotel room, and I was just thinking, the maids when they cleaned that hotel room and found the panda mask, would have been thinking some of the kinkiest shit was going.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
low key furry over there.
I'm pretty sure that
Ghetto version of a furry.
I'm pretty sure they found a lot of weird stuff because a lot of
Yeah, I
hotel
mean,
workers
they
say this.
definitely
Yeah, they usually locate like some weird stuff. Yeah,
have.
sorry, man. I was this my I brought my PC with me to my brother's place, and the PC is not connecting to his monitor, so I
Yeah.
had
Okay.
to get his laptop. So now I'm on his laptop, and then it just looks like a new setting anyway. But anyway,
Is this next to me over this way? Is that AI Patrick?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, it is. It is. I always ask Kelkstar. I always just change everything. I don't think I have even a theme. I just try to change things, make them interesting all the time,
Yeah,
and
I
see.
like it. I like
Bring back
changing
the
background.
Muppets.
There is also AI Hamza right here. You see?
Quite good. It's kind of like it's not just AI. It's kind of like it's got like a animation.
Yeah, it
look
is.
to
Yeah,
it.
it is. Yeah, I found it on Canva. I just found it on Canva. I was
Oh,
like,
for
okay,
real? Oh, let me have a look at that.
let me try this. So I just did it on Canva, and then I was like, it'll be interesting. How the old TV shows. I don't know about you guys, but in Africa there's Sky Sports, and they used to put sort of animated characters of the
I'm gonna
get.
have a go at
Yeah,
this
so I
now.
was like, I'm gonna have to do this, especially for the Club World Cup and the same Club World Cup watch along. That is now I put the wrong one again. Ah, I'm so not into it today. Anyway,
Are
okay,
we doing? Are we doing a watch along on Monday night?
no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Oh,
So anyway, I'm gonna.
That's 6 o'clock for me. That's absolutely no problem.
I
That's 6
know.
o'clock
I
in the
love the way
evening
you
for me.
shut
That's a
that down
great
so
time.
quickly. You were just like, no, we're not. Right,
No, we're
and we
not.
move on.
We're not. We're not. I've taken over from LB and Dabs with the fever. So I think I took it over. Mine just happened when I was on the
Yeah.
bus. Yes, it just happened on the bus. So anyway, let's begin the show. There's a few people in the comments already, but I see everybody's already twerking and glazing Tijani Reinders. I've seen this. Says I'm here for the Tijani Reinder Glaze Olympics. So yeah, people are
Come to the right
glazing.
place.
Yeah, people are gazing, twerking. They're saying that's the best thing they've ever seen. Best midfielder in city colors, all that stuff. But anyway, let's go with this.
Who said that?
Some people. I won't mention their names because I don't want. But you know, the Club World Cup. Let me.
Do you know what?
God.
I do think that Reinders, and I
Yeah.
know it's only a couple of games, but I think in a couple of seasons' time, he's going to be up there in, like, we've been blessed with a lot of midfielders. So,
Talent, yeah.
like Yaya, De Bruyne, David Silva. But then, I'll be honest, Gundogan is in that mixer as well. Like
Gundogan has to be.
Yeah,
he
it has to be.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I do think
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo.
Bernardo as well, 100%. Do you know what? I was having a conversation with the Sheikh yesterday, right? And this is where I think Bernardo is very special, right? That he was talking about the Bernardo we know and love, right? And I said, interesting. What is the Bernardo that you know and love, right? And someone in the comments had said Bernardo against Real Madrid and Bayern Munich on the right-hand side cooking, right? Going forward. And I said, see, this is where Bernardo is so elite. That is your Bernardo you know and love. And that was 2 seasons ago.
I thought everybody hates even before that.
No,
we used to hate Bernardo.
Hates him. Where
hold on.
Nobody hates him.
Yeah, it's just recently people are frustrated with him, right?
Oh, no, Dabs. I'm saying in general, remember even in the past when they put him at right wing, we used to say, no, put him in the middle.
You know what it was? It was more like he was playing in a advanced 8 role, right? He wasn't the winger because we had Mahrez at the time. So Mahrez was the right winger. Bernardo was the advanced 8 that sat behind Mahrez and linked up with Mahrez so well, right? But it was going forward. You look at him in that Bayern game, look at him in that Madrid game. That was Bernardo impacting the game in the final third. My favourite Bernardo is about 6 years ago when we played Liverpool and him and Fernandinho completely bossed Wijnaldum, Henderson and Fabinho, right?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
they just ran circles around him.
Yeah, as a deep 8. And that's the beauty of him. That someone's saying they love him going forward in the final third. I'm saying I like him defensively. And there's very few players that you can look at and say fit both molds. He can't do both now. I don't want to see him advanced anymore. The only way I see him now is playing an 8 role. I don't want to see Bernardo in a 10 or on the wing.
Yeah. I think he's just lost his creativity.
Yeah,
he's looked great recently, though. Hasn't he looked great recently?
He's playing deeper in a lot of those games.
Yeah, but I've seen him do 1-2s and do through balls that look great. To be honest with you, this is what I'm going to say. I don't know if maybe some people are not going to agree. He just looks happier as a captain, and he looks determined.
Yeah,
I think everybody does though too, because last season was just such a pit of despair.
Yeah. I think the interesting
thing have changed a lot. Across the pitch, everybody looks
Pep
looks happier.
Literally everyone looks happier. I think that's the interesting thing, that Bernardo, I would imagine, is the type that, we all know Bernardo in the dressing room, everyone loves him, right? He's right. And so while things are going well, as captain, I think he's a perfect captain. Mm-hmm. The question is, if things change again, will he still be the perfect captain? Because it's easy being.
What do you mean if things change again?
If our form dips and the mood around the camp changes, because through a season things like that happen, and then it's right.
That's fair because last season he could have elevated the team last season when that was happening. And
the thing that I said yesterday I liked about Bernardo Silva last season over maybe Diaz I didn't like so much is Bernardo was always accountable. Every time he spoke, he was being accountable. He would say, this is not good enough, and we know it's not good enough. Whereas, like, that Diaz moment will stick in my mind where we drew with... Who was it we drew with?
Southampton.
Yeah, and Diaz came out like with a bag of excuses. Like, you haven't played for a team that comes across against a low block team week in, week out. To come out and go, we can't believe this team is playing a low block against us. Really? Southampton, who have picked up 9 points all season, and you thought they were going to do anything but a low block? I didn't like that because I didn't think that was accountable. Whereas I do think Bernardo would always be accountable and tell everyone this is not good enough. But
it's just weird because Diaz has never really done that before. So that just came out of left field. I was like, what?
Yeah, but
like this comment, I was like, what?
Do you know what though? I find I've got this view on Diaz, that Diaz is a strong man, right? But Diaz comes across to me as someone that he doesn't like to be challenged, right? And like he gets very I can imagine like. You know, if you and all your mates are taking the piss out of each other, I can imagine Diaz to be the type that doesn't like the piss to be taken out of him, right? He'll get very defensive and start being a little bit toxic. And that with Southampton was a bit defensive and like, bro, just say it wasn't good enough. To come out and be defensive like that, I didn't like that at all.
But doesn't that show the thing that you and me discussed up on your channel when we said maybe this is the reason why? Because remember, I picked Bernardo as a captain long ago. Remember, I was like, I think it just all the things just pointed him.
Yeah.
I was like, people keep saying Diaz just because he shouts and stuff, but look at his recent interview. Even the times when he was doing well, sometimes when he breaks under pressure, he used to make these comments that don't make sense. You're like, man, just get on with it, you know. And yet people were going at Bernardo when Bernardo says we need warriors. I know Bernardo was not doing well, but Bernardo was saying the truth. Was like, we need to be warriors. Yeah. I'm just saying, with the haircut he has now. He just looks looks slimmer. He looks slimmer. He looks happier. And even when you look at him as captain material, he looks better than let's say everybody looks better than Walker.
Yeah, facts.
I think it would have been interesting though if Rodri had been healthy, who would have been picked? Because I think this season would have been just too much on Rodri's plate coming back from a big injury.
Yeah.
To be captain, that's just asking way too much. Yeah. So that would have been an interesting like debate. We'll never have.
I agree with you on that. I think maybe with the Rodri thing, it is a bit of no. Concentrate on your fitness at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I always think
totally agree.
One of the things I always said about when Man United made Harry Maguire captain, right? Because Maguire's form dipped as soon as he got made captain. And I understood there was this, we're not going to sell him because, we've only just bought him and he's worth this much money. But I always said, cool, if a player's, if you've made a player captain and their form has dropped, then the first thing you should do is go, do you know what? It's too much pressure. We get it. Captain of Man United, big pressure. Maguire, we're going to take the armband off you and just get back to defending, right? Just get back to the basics. And same thing, I think with Rodri, it's one of them ones where right now Rodri needs his focus has to be on playing football, not leading, and getting his fitness back. If he then had the extra, because it is something mentally, isn't it? If you're captain of a team, you're then focusing on that. I also do think that the whole thing is there's going to be a lot of games where probably Bernardo. That armband's going to be thrown about a lot this season. It's not just going to be one person wearing it. I think there's going to be times where Rodri has it because Bernardo's not playing. There's probably going to be times Diaz has it because neither of them are playing. There's going to be times when Haaland has it. So I don't think it's not like, back in the day where it was just mainly Vinny, always Vinny. I think it is now a thing where the armband's going to be passed about a lot.
I kind of wish Foden would have a chance to wear it sometimes.
But again, he needs to focus on his football first.
Yeah, true.
Well, okay,
he looks like he's coming back though. That is my biggest takeaway from this Club World Cup so far. Is Foden? Foden just looks like Foden again. He looks very.
They all look happy and they all look like
very healthy. He looks hungry.
Do you know what? I think my biggest take. So early on Never a Foul, I was being positive about City, and straight away, obviously, rivals and ready to shut it down. And now, let's calm down the teams you're playing and this and that. And I said, look, the biggest thing I've taken from this Club World Cup is we are starting, and especially yesterday, was we are starting to look more like the old Manchester City. Even the runs we're making, like in a bit, like that, the own goal, the own goal, that movement there, that was prime City. The run from Nunes and picking out with the pass, that was prime City. And we're starting to look like the old City. The biggest thing with the Juventus game is in December, we lost 1-0 to them. Yesterday, we beat them 5-2, right? If that isn't telling you we are improving, then, and that's the thing. Look, I'm not saying right now this Manchester City should be favourites to win the Premier League, but are we starting to look like the old Manchester City? 1,000,000%. And anyone that tries, I mean, Patrick, last night on Never a Foul, straight after the game, Igal was there, and straight away he is doing but I'm not going to lie to you. You want to know something? They still don't look good defensively. And I'm like, how can we just beat a top team 5-2 and you want to talk about us? And furthermore, one of the goals was like in like the 89th minute or something. Why is your
he's scared?
He's
scared.
They're scared.
And here's the thing, right? That he can, as an Arsenal fan, who we all know Arteta is obsessed with defenders and defending, he can focus on our defense still not looking good. Well, your defense has got you points this season, and that's why you didn't win the league, right? We'll get 3 points by beating a team 5-2, right? We'll outscore teams. If that is the way we're going to play this season, to outscore teams, I could not give a shit. I'm here for it, right? I love a good defense. But when a team scores 5 goals and the first thing someone wants to talk about is the defensive performance, you're just looking for something to not be happy to. You're scared. You're spot on. You're scared.
But they're about to be like, does Martin need the link?
They are. No, but I heard somebody. I listened to somebody from, I think it was on a Man U channel, and she was praising City and saying how scary we were looking and how worried she was.
It's your favorite girl. I think her name's Alice.
Yeah.
Kimber, please don't tell me it's that girl. That girl, she wrecks my head. She wrecks my head.
Yep. No. I think. Wait. I'll look at
it. It's
her name's Alice.
Cass's friend.
She wrecks my head because she No, she wrecks my head. She wrecks my head, Dabs. I'm telling you. It's just like, if I ever meet her on a panel, I'll tell her you wreck my head. And me, I'm very tolerant, but somehow when she comes on, she triggers me every time. I don't know.
I get that. I get she can trigger you.
It's her thing. It's her thumbnails that are too baited and her face reactions. I'm like, what are you doing?
Listen, I know exactly who you mean, because obviously Cass and her speak a lot. And bro, Alice, is a bit of. I'm going to be honest with you. Alice is one of the innovators of. She's leading the how to play the YouTube game. Right?
Yeah, I can see that.
She's leading it, and this is a thing that people would talk about. A lot of other YouTube content creators, right? But a lot of them are just following her blueprint, right? And I there's a reason why I don't do this. Look, if we're talking about Liverpool now, then I'll be positive. I'll be positive about Liverpool. I can talk about how right now Liverpool are champions and they've spent well, and they're probably the team that the pack are following. But I could never do videos just literally praising a rival because I haven't got it in me, right?
And you know what, Daz, before I forget,
my mask will fall off. And I'll start being salty as fuck. Why? Because I ultimately don't fucking like our rivals. To do a 15-minute video praising a rival, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
Dabs, I'm not doing a thumbnail like this. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. That's what I'm saying. You know what? More power to her.
Honestly, she's an innovator. She's the one that a lot of people are following what she does. But I get what you're saying.
No, I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry.
Maybe let's go. I've seen other people with the over the top thumbnails and other genres.
Yeah, but it's for yourself. But it's for your own channel. If you do it for your own football club, it's fine. But people do it for other football clubs, and then it's just Oh my God, it's just
Do you
I don't
know
know.
why it is though? Do you know why it is? Yeah, and it works. It's right. So it is proven to work because, like, if we go to right, let me give an example of you. An example of it. Lee Gunner is the trendsetter with something, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else followed it, right? Being negative about your own club, right?
Yeah.
Because if I go on a panel show with a Tottenham fan, a Liverpool fan, a Man United fan, an Arsenal fan, and a Chelsea fan, right?
Yeah,
and then the people watching it is going to be all other clubs, right? Now, if I go on there and talk positive about Manchester City, then there's 5 other panel members that aren't going to like it. And ultimately, at home, most of the people watching that, are going to fucking dislike me, right? Because they're going to be like, I don't like this guy, he's a City fan. So naturally, they won't like me because I'm a City fan being boasty about my club, right? Now, if I go on there and as a City fan, I'm negative about Manchester City for an hour, then all the rivals watching that will go, I like this guy. I'll subscribe to this guy because this guy's talking sense, right? It's the easiest trick. Club, but then if you go and like someone else's club, because as Manchester City fans, we can all sit here and talk about how much we love Manchester City. It's the same. If we hear a Chelsea fan saying, do you know what, I can't lie, City are absolutely cooking right now. They're massaging our ego, bro. So again, we're going, we like these guys because they like our club. It's the two things. Shit on your own club and praise someone else's club, and you'll get more followers and you'll get more subscribers.
No, I don't think that. Like, look, people. Do you remember that time when? Do you remember that time when I was given. Obviously, people said there were negative points about City. People thought I was doing the Liga. No, I was genuinely saying I'm not happy with what's going on. Yeah. When something is happy, I would genuinely tell you it's happy. It's just I don't think I'm like you, Dabs. I can't do it. I tried it once to do these funny things, and I'm like, you know what? Bullshit. I'm not doing
can't
this.
Do it.
You
should. Well, because eventually the mask will drop. Because
Kelkster love. You know what, Kelkster? I'm gonna do this. You do the funny faces for me. I will post you.
But to be fair, I've got one or two because Cass made me do
Dabs is gonna be at the panda mask.
Cass loves them. Cass has them.
Dear. Oh dear.
Cass has the faces from how you doing, Martin?
What are you saying, oh dear, Martin?
You do faces. It'd be quite funner. It would be quite fun.
Some, though. I actually do have. Like the one I use on my Good Morning one, that's one that Cass, I think if you look at it, I'm holding a cup of tea and going...
Yeah, but that's okay. But that one is okay. Have you seen these ones? These ones are dramatic. They're very dramatic. You're like, what are you doing?
No, it's that one. Like...
Yeah, people are crying. There's some people who are crying. They have graphics. They're crying. I was like,
I
was like, what's going on? But anyway, let me go to Kimba before I go to Martin. Kimba, so can I ask you something, Kimba?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think City are back, or we have to wait? Because I say no. I say we have to wait till Juventus. I want to see what it like. It's going to be disingenuous for people to start telling us that, but it's Juventus. Let's not forget Juventus slapped us, and it looked bad just months ago. Yesterday, we totally dominated Juventus at the point in time where, look, the only goal that they scored against us was due to the mistake by our keeper. And obviously, I don't know what Edison...
breakdown at the end of the game.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what Edison was doing. But overall, we just made them look bad. We made them look so average. We even made them look below average because there was a point in time I was like, this is looking like bullying again. So the City went back to bully mode. So are we... we're saying we're on the right path? Because the next club we're playing has got a bit of ballers in them, even though they're not from a very strong league.
They're going to be tough defensively.
I would say this. I think it's too early to say we're back, but I think that we have started good. I think we're showing signs that we're going to be fighting this year. We're not going to be down. I got from the game yesterday. I got the impression that our players, they're hungry. They want to win the Premier League again. They want to win it back. They want to win this tournament, and they have it in them. Definitely have it in them. I mean, I was really surprised about how we played yesterday. It was like looking at us how we played during or partly played during the treble season. So yeah, I was enjoying it, but it's still too early to say, even though it was Juventus and it was a strong Juventus team. But, it's just one game. So we will see over the next 2 games how we will do in the Club World Cup. I think like you said, the next team that we're playing is a team from the Saudi League with a few ex European players.
João
But
Cancelo.
I'm pretty sure we will win it. How much I don't know, but I believe that we will win it.
They did look good. Do you know what?
They look good defensively, though.
They look very good defensively, and also Inzaghi's is a cup manager, so that's something to take into account. We're in a cup tournament, and the big one to keep an eye on, the matchup in that one's gonna be Ruben Neves against our midfield. Is gonna be he's still a very, very good player.
Yeah.
So let's see. That'll be Tijani's first test. Let's see how Tijani does.
Don't forget, Martin doesn't rate Ruben Neves. Martin doesn't rate Ruben Neves.
Martin doesn't rate anyone that doesn't play for
Did Martin just wake up from a nap?
No, he actually packed the car.
Martin's just dropped off Jackie.
Yeah, of course. No, listen, I'm not going to. I've got the same manager I'm going to have if we lost. Just because we won, I'm not going to say we're back. If we lost, I wasn't. But it doesn't tell us. For me, it doesn't tell us a lot. I think the style of play is quickened up. You can see that the togetherness is there. You see with the coaches and the managers hugging each other. You can see the happiness on the faces. But the thing is, it's way too early in the transfer window. I don't know what our squad's going to look like in 2 months. Despite, I do think we're probably done with ins. It's more outs now. Who's going to be there in 2 months? And
wait, Martin. So nothing impressed you yesterday?
No, impressed me, but I'm not going to overjoy because I've got the same energies. If I lost, I wouldn't have panicked, and I'm not going to go overboard because we won as well. I don't think for the first half, I thought it was a pre-season friendly. The tempo in that first half for the whole game was piss poor.
Yeah, it's the weather. It's probably the heat.
It was a pre-season knockaround.
Yeah, it was like 35 plus humidity.
No, I know, but Juventus didn't play their full first team. We made changes again. It's so hard to judge in this competition right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So what's right, what's wrong?
Yildiz and Conceição was really weird. Because Conceição and Yildiz are their two best players.
Yeah. The way
bizarre.
It was a bit weird, but I think the same thing you could say we left Haaland, Foden, and Cherky out. I think there was a lot of
John Stones on the bench. I mean, the
biggest
plus was Jeremy Doku. The biggest plus was Doku and Sereno. They actually turned up, which was outstanding.
Johnny Rangers
I'll
too.
be honest with you, and I ignore it, but the biggest plus for me, I was going to say, is probably the fact that the amount of minutes Rodri played.
Yeah.
He played a lot more than we would expected. I expected him to play like 30
more
minutes.
Than the
I thought he'd come off at halftime.
Same.
The actual plan was 45 and get off. And it was Rodri who told Pep, "No, let me go another 20. I've got it. Let me go."
That's positive.
So Rodri overruled Pep. Pep was like, "You're off at half time." Rodri's like, "Nope, no, I'm not."
But we were. I think also because we were so much in control at that point.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the first half, and straight into the second half, we were in full control.
Yeah,
they had no chance.
Do you know what I loved? And there's so much about the game. I mean, firstly, right, the Doku goal and the Savio goal.
Oh yeah,
those two things. But
that was awesome.
No, you can't really take away from the goals. But what the main thing about that is that those two goals, quite simply, would not have happened 6 months ago, right? Just because their confidence was not there. The fact that Savio is shooting with his right foot, right? When all season, Savio has been cutting in to shoot with his left foot. Now Savio's playing with this confidence and swagger where he can shoot with his right foot. Why? And I said this last season, because last season it got to a point where, because we were in such a bad place, sometimes it looked like Savio thought, I need to step up and get a goal. Well, now Savio doesn't look like a player that feels he needs to step up and get a goal. And guess what? Now it's coming natural. That Doku first touch, right? The finish was good, but the first touch was everything, because it literally, the defender was gone. He had all the time in the world because the first touch just took the defender completely out of the game. But what I loved was how it was kind of like Reinders and Rodri, and a little bit Ait Nouri as well, bizarrely, because Ait Nouri was cutting in. Ait Nouri was playing a bit more like Cancelo used to play, where he was inverting, not going out on the side. But you had 2 or 3 players in the midfield just picking out runners. And I was going to say on the right-back situation, Núñez is giving Pep a decision, right? Because when you see Núñez play like that, you think, do you know what? Do we need a right-back? You do.
I think it depends on what you want to win next season. I personally think Núñez is fine in the Premier League. I don't have an issue with that. I think he's actually fantastic to play against teams that are going to low block us because his ability to cross is going to completely unlock the other defense. But I'm very skeptical about him in the Champions League, especially the latter stages. Because do you expect Núñez to lock up Rafinha? Do you expect him to lock up Vinny Jr.? Do you expect him to lock up Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, those kind of players? So I think, I mean, but if you don't care about the Champions League, then I think he's fine. But if you want to win the Champions League, you need a defensive.
I hear it because there's more challenges in the Champions League. But I'll be honest with you, I also worry about him in the Premier League. There'll be games in the Premier League where he comes unstuck. This is the issue. And even yesterday, I can't remember what it was, but at one point, Núñez made a mistake, and I said, "This is a thing. Núñez will look quality going forward."
Well, he and Akanji kind of gave them their second goal. The two of them together were just
It wasn't that one. It was something earlier. There was something he did earlier where I thought, see, this is the thing. Ultimately, he is not a defender. So we will continue to see defensive errors from Núñez. Will they get less? Yeah, probably, the more he gets used to playing there. But we will continue to see defensive errors. But if if for the rest of this tournament, we continue to be able to play football like yesterday, it's going to make Pep forget about those defensive errors a little bit and maybe think, do you know what? We don't need a right back. And that's a bit of a worry for me.
Yeah, I actually win a lot of games.
You're not going to get
60% of the games.
I think we're not going to get a perfect 11, a perfect great defense, great midfield, great.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Find it interesting. Some people have moved from the midfield was the biggest problem last season to now the defense is the biggest problem going into this new one.
And the goalkeeper.
It's like we're trying to find problems now. We're trying to find them as we're going along.
Martin, we don't need. Hold on. I hear you, yeah, and I agree with you that we're not going to get. It's very, very, very difficult to get the perfect right back for going forward and defending because there's not that many right backs that are good defensively. However, we're not looking for this issue. Núñez defensively is not brilliant. That's not us looking for it. It's very clear on the eye. He was good.
He was good yesterday.
I'll tell you something I was told today. At the minute, there's no planned incomings, and there isn't going to be right now. There is no planned.
I don't disagree with you.
They're completely done. They're completely happy with because the idea is Victor Hayes and Kushinov are going to be looked at as potentially being used on that right hand side in certain games.
But Martin,
so we're going to have 7 centre backs.
Martin, but if we're going by everything. Martin, if we're going by everything that you get told, if we're going by everything that you get told, then you literally are being told contradictory statements. In what you've just said there, right? That is a contradiction in what you said, right? So Kuzanov is now an option at right back.
Yeah, because the idea of the Kushinov loan was if they were going to buy a right back. The right back.
Okay,
what they don't want to do
is keeping Kuzanov and not getting a right back.
Yeah, it looks like. Listen, they said it's changing all the time. The problem is they don't want to get a cheap alternative. They can't get number one.
I hear that.
And it's that old thing of buy cheap, buy twice. They don't want to do a makeshift. We'll try and get our body in. They want Livramento. Newcastle are just absolutely steadfast on he is not going out the door. He is not going.
Next summer it could be.
So the problem is, that's what I mean. I think things may change, but
people, we just need all these bids that Newcastle are making.
It's as I said to you the other day, Daps. The biggest problem right now is getting people out. Now, I'll be noticed. Nobody wants to leave anymore. Everyone's now stuck the colours on the mast. No one wants out.
Yeah, nobody wants to leave. Yeah.
You can't kick them out
for that though. You can threaten a couple of players.
Did you say
Well, you
threaten?
can't threaten them.
Wait, did you say
No, you can't
threaten?
kick them out.
No,
Well,
Martin,
like
did you
lightly,
hear?
like
No,
a
no, no, no,
lightly,
no, no.
like
You
threaten.
said
Quote,
No,
unquote.
come on, really? So what? Threaten John
Light.
Stones?
You can't
Come on.
threaten legends out the door.
Yeah.
Get out of
Come
else.
on. Yeah.
What we doing here?
That's the difficult one. The difficult one with John Stones is a great
You can
example of
play,
that.
and if you want
This
to
is a
play in the World
legend.
Cup, you need to go play somewhere else. You can-
But John Stones probably doesn't. John Stones, if he plays minimal game time this season, but is fit for every single, but is fit.
John Stones being fit for every. Whoa,
No. But hold on.
No.
Because, yeah. Because if John Stones doesn't play much, right, he will be fit for every international duty. He's a starter for England. He doesn't need to go somewhere else. And if he's not playing City, he won't get injured. He'll only play for England, and he'll be on the plane. This is the thing. Grealish needs to go to get game time to get on that England flight.
He's definitely going. Yeah.
Stones doesn't. Stones can just sit at City for a season, know that he's going to be fit for next summer, collect a paycheck, and it's not ideal, but it's probably what John Stones is thinking in his head. And by the way, he'll still play for us here and there, but he don't want to. The one thing John Stones right now definitely does not want is to be injured next summer. That's the one thing he definitely doesn't want.
So
But in regards to Grealish, I think the problem is that the price. Nobody wants to pay the price for him.
Apparently, Napoli do. It's insane.
No, Napoli is not willing to pay not that high of a price.
I heard Napoli are willing to pay over 35 million, and Grealish's book value now is, I think, 33 million.
I don't think the club is willing to sell him for that low.
No, they would because of the way it works, the way as an asset drops year on year, City would accept that. Because also, not only would they be getting what his book value is on the book for PSR and all of that, but also they'd be getting that wage off the book as well. So to City, because the other option,
that's the biggest thing, though.
Yeah,
the wage,
well, that's the thing. Ultimately, if we sold him for 35 million. We're potentially saving about 30 million in wages over the next 2 seasons. So if Napoli pay 30 million, we should snatch that. We should literally.
It depends what Napoli are offering in wages. So they're only offering.
Yeah, true. We'd have to pay some of that.
Grand. We'd have to pay out the back door.
What has anyone seen what De Bruyne's on over there? Has anyone seen what De Bruyne's
like a
on?
4-year contract? Would he be willing to potentially sacrifice some wages for that? For like. The short-term wages would be smaller, but over the course of multiple years, like it'd probably be about the same amount of money. So could that be an option? Like say Napoli offered him a 4-year contract where he only has 2 years left with City. He'd get 4 years of wages at a lower wage, but maybe over the course of 4 years, it would equal the 2 years.
Would you do that? Would you do that? Remember, they're not City fans, Kelster. Would you do that from your boss at a workplace?
Would you say nah, sack the wages? I would go with whatever paid me more. And if the 4-year paid me more, I would go to the 4-year.
I see.
No, what do you renege on your way? Your holding player would still be entitled to give you that.
Nah, I'd rather earn it in 2 years than
that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather work for 2 years and get it and have 2 years off.
You don't know where you're going to be in 4 years.
Already retired. You can probably already worth $100 million. I'm sure you can retire just fine.
You got to remember, they're not City fans. These are not City fans. It's a job.
Well, if Napoli offered him more money over the course of 4 years versus 2 years with City, I personally would go for the more money over longer years, but that's just me.
Yeah, but but what you'd be working out.
No, but he's still entitled to that wage, though,
right.
Kelsey.
You could earn, imagine, Kels, you could earn 30 million for doing 2 years' work. And by the way, that 2 years' work means minimal game time, but hey, that's minimal work, right?
Yeah.
So 30 million for 2 years, or you could earn 40 million for 4 years. Which one would you take?
Well, I'm poor, so I would take the 40 million over 4 years.
Also, another thing I don't
have 100 million in the bank like Jack Grealish does.
After the 2 years of 30 million, yeah, you would then get a signing on fee that you pocket completely yourself because you're a free person. This is the thing, Grealish, like. It would have to be financially beneficial for Grealish to leave. Like he probably will take a bit of a pay drop, but he won't take much because really boring. I hate going back to these, but it is a job. And at the moment, Grealish is still in it. Grealish still has a job for 2 years. Yeah. Grealish still has.
You got to remember, this is the thing when you say push out the door. We've got a legally binding contract. So say they've got 2 years left, and we go right. Nobody want you to leave. that player is still entitled to their money on their remaining 2 years. You just work out a deal. It's something you never hear about in transfers. It's just like a backdoor payment out the door.
Martin, anything to say on the comment below?
Oh, I know, Per. He knows about that. But I know what happened with Churka. They went after,
and that's well good. But it's not just Piers. You need to explain to all of us.
No, they went after Verts. They were looking at Gibbs White. Gibbs White was 80 million quid, and they didn't.
I think that's a next summer deal, honestly.
They didn't want to touch 80 million quid, but the interest in Gibbs White, and then they looked at Churka. The Churka deal was held up because of the stuff that was going on with Leon at the
relegation
time, with all the financial mess they were in. Because you remember there was no links to Cherky whatsoever.
No,
it was Verts, it was Gibbs White. They just shifted to Cherky when Forest would not lower any kind of fee.
I feel like they'll put the sexy name will make headlines, but then we always get the.
But you're seeing it now with Alanga. Yeah. Forest have set prices they have for the players, and they're not going to lower them. So it's pay up or go.
I have a question.
Really wanted to come, right?
Wait, I have a question for
Gibbs White wants to come and he's still on the radar. Yeah, he's only got 2 years left.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys though, because
please no. We're not going to go back in for him next summer, are we? For fuck's sake.
I hope we don't. But I have a
Gibbs White. I'd keep an eye on it. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys, especially Martin and Kelkster. I've got a question for you two guys. Do you remember that time when I told both of you that the reason why I don't know if it was both you and Martin who said Doku can never play as an inside winger, but I told you it's because
he shot me.
What did I say? It's because of a fullback. I said it last time. Get fullbacks. These guys, they'll be able to tuck in.
I've said it to Daps Pat for 2 weeks. I didn't think he'd do that, and I didn't think it'd work. And I hold my hands up. It bloody works.
Do you know
what? I was shocked yesterday. I was very pleasantly surprised because I felt the same way. I just could see it when it was happening last season. It just didn't work. But this season
it's one of those ones where I've been saying it all week because when we had Mendy and Sane, Pep never used to like playing Mendy and Sane, right? Because of the fact that both of them quite like to hug the touchline. And then I've been saying all week, is there a world where we see Doku and Aït-Nouri in the same lineup? Because if we do, with how good they both are at dribbling, they're going to take players out of the game because realistically, defense is going to have to put 2 or 3 players on them just on the right-hand side. And this is where I think we're going to thrive so much this season. We're back to a team that has multiple threats. And so all of a sudden, Haaland's going to find so much more space and time in the box because no longer can teams go, do you know what? Shove 2 players on Haaland, mark him out the game and it's done. Because you can't do that because they're having to put probably, if Doku's on the pitch, you're having to put a couple of players on him. If Aït-Nouri's making runs, all of a sudden teams have so much more to think about. And the proof's in the pudding.
Especially with the movement of Doku, Daps, when he's on the right, the left, the middle, he was going everywhere.
He was, yeah.
Oscar Bob, too.
I think he had that in his locker.
Another player that we need to can't forget.
Yeah, and Marmoush, all of them, just the way they all... And do you know what? This is where I think as well, if we look at Haaland's 3 seasons at City, the first 2 seasons, he had Alvarez to compete with, right? And we probably all agree that Haaland was his most productive in his first 2 seasons. Last season, not so much. But last season, he had no competition and he got ran into the ground, right? Haaland was literally, up until the point where Haaland got injured, I think Haaland was pretty much playing every single game. We are now at a point where we're seeing Haaland being able to rest, Haaland not having to start every game. Because, and it's strange, when I saw that lineup yesterday, Doku, Savio, Marmoush, or not in that position, but you know what I mean. Last time we played that was in the Premier League. Was it against, who was it? Was it Leicester we played and we beat? And they looked really good together. That Marmoush, Savio, Doku link-up works because they're all so fluid with their movement. And this is a mad thing. We're here, whenever we talk about our best 11 now, I think most of us are saying Haaland, Marmoush, Foden, or Haaland, Marmoush, Cherky. Not many of us are putting Doku and Savio in there, right? Dokio.
Well, no,
call him Dokio. I love it.
Doku and Savio played a lot last year together, but they didn't click, or they just fired a lot of bad shots last season.
Yeah, it's having options.
And I know that to me, it was just a question of time before they would click.
Yeah.
And now they're
Because I've
clicking.
got the view for
together
that.
now.
Agreed.
I thought
Yeah,
Foden and
that's a
Cherky
good
were
little
excellent
partnership.
together.
Dude,
Yeah,
Foden
but
is
yeah,
really
yeah.
is
Oh, they were
cooking
awesome
as a 10.
together.
I very limited game time, but I really like the chemistry they're developing, and I really want to see them two together going forward. I really like them together.
Have you not seen the agenda online that apparently Foden feels really insecure around Cherky?
No, that's
the latest is that it's
absolute
Savio now.
Literally, if anyone that
Foden
watches
stole Savio's goal, so therefore they hate each other.
No, but did you see Haaland go up to Savio and tell Savio you should have took that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He told him. Yeah,
said I would have took that. but to be fair, Haaland didn't take the one for Gundogan the other day neither. Haaland could have easily took that Gundogan one, but no, it's funny because if you watch Foden before every single game, when he's warming up, he's doing tricks and skills. That's just what Foden likes to do, right? While he's warming up. So there's a video of Foden and Cherky warming up together, and Foden's doing the usual thing he does when he's warming up before a game, doing keepy ups and like knocking it on his head and stuff. And someone's put, you can literally smell the insecurity of Foden around Cherky. And I thought, I just
you can cut the tension
so
with a knife
badly to make this agenda. Like, but they're two young lads that love football.
And then they went on the pitch. They went on the pitch for 20 minutes to just do 1-2s with each other. Yeah, exactly. they're really insecure with each other, aren't they?
That's going to be a really good. That's going to be a really good relationship, I think.
This is the whole thing. When we're here, you start looking at this, and this is what I want. Right, this is. So everyone's saying they're worried about our defense, but here's the thing, right? So straight away we're talking about partnerships. I can talk about the Rodri Reinders partnership. How excited I am to see that. I can talk about the Ait Nori and Doku, or the Ait Nori and Marmoush partnership. I can talk about Cherky and Foden partnerships. What I really want Pep to allow us to do is talk about a centre-back partnership.
I think we have it. It's Diaz-Vardiol.
Agreed. Agreed, but we haven't seen it once in this tournament, have we?
Yeah, but it's only 3 games. It's only 3
He's giving Gavardio rest. He's giving Gavardio rest.
He had that little knock, so otherwise I think he would have played yesterday. I just think that he had that little knock that he came off in the first game. I just want to see it. That's the one thing, because until I honestly feel, and I get, like Steve said earlier, but treble season, our partnerships kept changing. I get it, but I just feel mostly
like
Stones and Diaz at the end, though.
It was, and usually, if you look at Premier League winning teams, they have a partnership that rarely changes. And I just want to see it. I want to see a centre-back partnership that grows and is given time to grow understanding and not just keep changing. Because as long as it keeps changing, I think we're going to keep conceding goals.
Ow.
But do you think that?
I agree. Because look at Kanata and Van Dijk and sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, based on the 3 games that we have seen so far and the joy we have seen so far, anybody expecting it to be like, I am pretty sure that it will be a tight race this season, but it will be a Liverpool City tight race again.
I think so. At the moment, from the way Arsenal are moving, I agree with you. I think Arsenal are really.
That's probably why
Arsenal's not going to reach the top. They're not going to reach the top. They had the chances. I don't see it happening. Not again.
Wait, can I ask something here? Because I know that Martin, obviously, I'm going to ask 2 things, because the first one is, I know that Martin doesn't really care about this tournament. So Martin, obviously, if he doesn't want to say anything, it's fine.
He's looking at plane tickets.
Yeah. I was about to say this. Kimber and Kelkster, are you guys looking at this round of 16 breakdown? Looking at it, are we not in favor? Isn't our side not in favor?
Yeah, we are. We have the easier side.
I think we're the clear favorites on our bracket.
Yeah, but there's PSG though. But anyway, that's
PSG's on the other side.
PSG is on the other side.
On the other bracket. Yeah, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Dortmund, and PSG are all on the other bracket. So the only time we could meet them would be in a final.
Bayern Munich got beat by Benfica. So what you're scared of Bayern Munich for?
No, they're not in our bracket.
No, so I mean,
I think Pep would toy with Vinny.
No, I need to see people start playing strongest 11s before I take this into a more serious situation. I need to see the strongest 11s, because even Juventus has went out with half a bloody scratch team out, and they only got good when they brought Yildiz and all them on. Fight us around the defense thing. I get, but you ever thought maybe that was just a quality ball from Yildiz? You know what I mean? Sometimes we've got to praise the opposition rather than having a pop at our own defenders.
He was the player I was most concerned about. I was shocked he didn't start. Him and Conceição are like their two best players.
I pray Cancelo plays the next game. I'm a bit gutted Rico Lewis isn't playing in the next game because I'd like to see Rico chopping it off. But
you're right about that. Yeah,
we should just sit him behind the Al Hilal bench to be like.
Okay, let me read this super chat. Wait. There's a super chat here. It's, big up to Steve. Says super chat for 499. Thank you very much for the super chat. 6 pound. Big up to you. Sorry, I was gonna come back to the super chat. I just wanted to read something here. Yes, there's 100 of you guys and there's 5 likes. Put the likes up. I remember we were saying this that you guys before the Club World Cup, the likes were going up, but now you guys have been stingy. So I wanted to ask the panel also, number 2, are you guys happy with the Premier League's new announcement that they're going to be doing halftime interviews? Because I am excited.
Oh, I'm keeping this. I've got a show tonight. No, I'm doing a show tonight about this.
I'm excited.
Absolute woke nonsense. Absolute crap. NFL, fuck off.
I agree.
What is this?
I want
hate to say it.
You want what?
Welcome
You
to
want
America.
what?
And another thing,
no, Pat, don't do me because I'm going to start my rant now. You're going to make me do me rant now.
Do you know what, Martin?
The other thing, content, Pat.
Yeah, Martin. Do you know what
Absolute
I also?
Woke nonsense.
Listen, what I want, Martin. Do you know when they are introducing the players in the Club World Cup where they introduce them like it's basketball? I also want that. I
pray to God they do this and they try and substitute a player who's totally angry and the player turns around and goes, just fuck off. I cannot wait for him to do that. I want this to fall on its head.
That's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen.
Nah,
this is not. In the 90s.
I am not. No, we didn't. This is not America. I love American fans. I love the country, but stop trying to change the Premier League.
Is Martin rattled?
Yeah, he is.
I'll go away for 2 minutes.
Does anybody know who Aaron Andrews is? Ryjack will, because he's American. But any of the non-Americans, you know who Aaron Andrews is?
No.
She does. Well, look, Google her. She's the one doing all the interviews, and so that's what you can look forward to.
Is she spicy?
Yeah. Do you know?
She's very attractive.
Let me be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. Now. You know what, Dab, some
I'll send you her name.
Some people are happy, but I just want to see, like, look, this is 2025. I'm sorry, I'm moving on. I want to see the interviews, not with the players, but I want to see with the assistant manager. I like the assistant manager interviews.
Hang on, Patrick, you are watching the game.
Why did it need
to have to watch the game? Are you going to watch picture interview? Which one you watching?
I like to see a good interview.
Me too.
What, during the game?
After the game.
You're being naughty, Dax.
During the game.
Huh? What did you say, Martin?
You know what you're doing saying that. You love a good interview.
Yeah, but okay, Martin. Martin, let's remove the players. What if they do like the Club World Cup where they're interviewing the assistant manager? I love that.
Okay.
We are paying. People are paying good money for TV. We want to see entertainment.
I want to see a rapper at halftime.
Thank you very much. Do you know what, Dabs?
I told you. I said he knows what he's doing.
And you know what, Dabs? And I'm gonna say this. I have been loving those basketball like intros of the players at the beginning.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it.
Please, no.
No fireworks.
No. Never.
Wait till you're in the south stand and all this starts. You're telling you now you're not sat there going, great rapper this.
Listen, as somebody that when I go to a game, I generally am not in my seat till about the 10th minute. And after half time, sometimes I'm not back in my seat till the 55th minute. Yeah. I couldn't give a shit about the entertainment at half time. However, at home,
you love it. It'll be good at home.
I'm joking on the entertainment side of things. I am, but I also understand. Like, because whereas I'm someone that like, and there's people that are against this. I'll be honest. Look, my English culture, my football culture at halftime and before the game and after the game, I like to have a drink. That's not for some people, and that's perfectly fine. Some people go to the game
like a drink too.
Younger kids, they do like the light show. For me, it's not great. It's very Martin. You will agree with me. You have, at very least once, when you've been at the Etihad at an evening game, you have appreciated how good the light show is. Yeah, because I mean, look,
Martin loves it. Martin loves that light show. We're doing the UCL.
The truth is, right? Because like I said, for me, I don't give a shit about a light show. But there's young kids that go to football, right? They love the light show. There's people that have never been. So the light show is not there for me. The light show is there for other people.
And
All
for
of
the
that
TV.
stuff I don't care about. However, I do love interviews. And I hear what you're saying. Like, for me, there's... when Sky Sports interview managers on the pitch after the game, I like that because it's the one time that you actually get, you get a bit of insight into what if the person interviewing asks the right questions, you get a bit of insight. Like, sometimes I've seen Pep be asked questions by interviewers and he comes alive and starts telling you stuff. So I hear you about Pep Linders. I want to see, because Pep Linders, I think, and Kolo Touré need to be given, and even the other guy that's coming, they need to be given some credit on this turnaround as well. Right?
A Manchester interview?
Hang on. Well, let's be honest. Listen, I get it. I get the young kids for the light shows, and I get it. And I must admit,
you've liked once or twice. You have liked.
No, once or twice. Yeah, not like it. I think it depends how it's done. It does give you a bit of a lump in the throat. Depends what they do. Yeah. Like the one I did enjoy, and I'm not sure you were there, Daps. Remember the Blue Moon when they did the choir?
Yeah,
and it looked very, that was very emotional. That made you a bit choky in the throat.
Do you know one that I really fuck it? In fact, I'll be honest with you, I'm pissed off we never did it because he's gone now. Right? I don't know if someone maybe Strasbourg Steve, if he's still in here, he'd probably know. I think it's Celta Vigo. Right before a big European game, they had a violinist do one of their chants, right? And if I'll find it once I finish talking, it's like that, right? And but it's not just a piece of music; it is a piece of music that is relevant to Celta Vigo.
Yeah, and it gets the atmosphere going. Yeah,
the goosebumps when you see it is like, oh my god! Now for me, Kevin De Bruyne should have had a live band do with the light show before he left us. Yeah,
called in the White Stripes.
It can't just
We're rich. We're gonna pay for it.
I mean, I think Leeds had. I predict
Cam. Oh no!
But nah, it's one of those ones where you can do things like that Celta Vigo one for me. Anyone? I am right. Is it Celta Vigo? And they had this violinist. But if you have,
it was Lindsay Sterling. That's who it was. I think it was Lindsay Sterling.
Is she?
No, it was a dude. It was a dude. Never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different sport.
But it was unbelievable. Now we should have done that with like the White Stripes playing that,
right?
For his, I mean, it would have cost a lot of money to be fair. It doesn't necessarily have to be the White Stripes. You could have just got someone an electric guitar, but those type of things, if you make them relevant to the football club, I think they can work.
The one thing I remember was a bit of a negative one. Do you remember the United semi-final? That's back in 2011. Was it? Got my mind.
What at Wembley?
At Wembley. Before we beat Stoke 1-0, we played United in the semi.
Yeah.
And if you remember, Russell Watson was singing.
Yeah, nah.
And we all turned our back and did the Poznan on him.
Yeah,
but
see, now that's the opposite. That can help. That can build an atmosphere going as well. A little bit, put an antagonising view on it.
For me, right, ultimately, it's about the people that are. Well, you'll know this, Martin. Like, it's about people at a club being in a position where they get it, right? So if you do something that is relevant to the club, right? Not just like, as an example, I went to see David Hay v. Derek Chisora, right? At Upton Park back years ago, boxing, right? And anyone that knows boxing, it's an old school Englishman's, in England, it's an old school Englishman's sport, right? Furthermore, if it is at Upton Park, West Ham's ground, I can tell you now, walking down Green Street, it was just full of every single lad from London, right? So it was a very white English 30s to 60 age group, right? Now, before the fight, they had a rapper come on. No, in fact, not even a rapper. They had a black R&B artist, right? And he got pelters. He got booed off the stage. Whoever organised that, what are you doing? Why are you putting an R&B artist in amongst fucking a predominantly white English crowd? It's not going to work. But if at football you're doing things that are relevant to the club, right? It can work. It can work. And I think you've got to remember you're catering for everyone. So for me, the intros I find cringy as hell. Those intros. I can't stand it. I can't lie. I feel like the players look awkward as well when they walk through.
They're just like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
I know it was just like awkward.
Yeah.
Somebody like Holland has like that bravado, like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm going to do this. But there's not very many who kind of have that.
Do you know what? There's a nice comment. Wait, there's a nice comment here before I read this super chat. Bring in the kiss cam. Yeah, that would be good. Like, bring everything. Bring everything American. Bring singing happy birthday for people.
Pour yourself a Cosmo, Dabs.
No, it's it's an AI vodka, strawberry daiquiri.
Ah,
You're
look at
Sex
him.
in the City right there, drinking a Cosmo.
I don't drink beer. I'm a woman when it comes to drinks.
Wait, do you just wait? Do you just drink?
I'm a man when it comes to drinks, so we're opposite.
You drink whiskey. You drink whiskeys, yeah. You drink whiskeys.
Or on the rocks, like
I drink
whiskey.
So I have this. It's a bit of an issue going to football, to be fair, because when we were at pubs, everyone drinks beers. I just drink rum and lime at football. But I like
you're on a lot of rum in the
I was. I'm always on a lot of rum.
That's I remember.
Definitely.
You did enjoy your rum.
Wait till Pat and I come to America. We'll go out to a pub. We'll see who gets drunker.
Well, I've got to sort my visa out now because. My
Hey Daps, does that mean you're buying us all rum in a couple of weeks when we're out? You started us all rum.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Rum shots on Daps.
There's a super chat here. It says people acting like different cultures exchanging ideas with each other is the end. Humans have been doing that for centuries. Amen to that, Steve. That's the reason why we should bring all these halftime interviews. It's for TV. Look, people are live at the stadiums. It's fine. But I like Koro Toure the other day doing a halftime interview, telling us how the first half went. It's but please, the Prem. I'll write a letter to the Prem in a few days. I'm gonna write a letter asking for those basketball intros. I love them. I love them.
God, please, no, please.
I like the intros.
Please don't.
Fuck off. Hey, listen, we've just got a load of fines for being late for kickoff.
Yeah.
If we have those intros, mate, we're gonna have fucking. We can have
Mark, we don't even like the Premier League intro.
The only team in the league that did that, by the way. The only team.
We don't even like the Premier League intro.
Bullshit.
We do that
Absolute
now.
Bullshit.
I like that.
There is no way we are the only team, right? This is the thing. We're definitely not the only team. We're the only team that the media told us about. That'll be what it is. I guarantee you, every single club, I bet you, last season got fines for late kickoffs, right? In fact, I've been at away games and there's been late kickoffs and it hasn't been because of City. It's just the media will only tell us because guess what? It means they get to write City and charges once again. It's just anything to fucking bring it up.
They're just doing it while they can.
They have, just on this camera, I'm going to bring it up later. They've tried all this before, don't forget. About 10, 15 years ago, Sky used to have player cam, where you press the red button on your Sky remote and you could follow the ball wherever the ball. It was basically you could watch player cam. So there are different cameras around the stadium. Just
can I ask you something, Martin? Though,
and it failed. Absolutely failed.
Okay, Martin, will you say yes to the ref? The way the ref, when he's making an announcement, everybody understands what he's saying.
They're never going to do that because that's the one to do one, but they'll just mute the ref when there's anything controversial. They mute it. They're not daft, Patrick. You are not going to get the insight you all think you're going to get out of this. They have got mute buttons. They have got all sorts. If there's anything controversial, they will mute up and sort it out later on.
Yeah, he's right. Unfortunately,
you're not going to get. You all think you're getting some juicy, like putting the dressing room with Pep Guardiola launching bottles around. You ain't getting none of that.
No, I'm talking about when the ref is making a VAR decision. Why the decision is made that way?
Well, apparently we were meant to be getting that at Wembley the other week, and we were meant to be getting it everywhere. You never get it. It's not happened once at the Etihad.
That's Premier League
been doing it. It never happens.
The Premier League are just shit at fucking. But they couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. And that's why
this is what I mean, Patrick. You don't hear a thing in the stadium.
No.
You don't hear a dicky bird in the stadium. You sit there. There was one at Wembley we had 2 weeks ago. You know, when they were looking at the Henderson red card, we didn't have a sodding clue what was going on for 5 minutes. We were like, what's even this about?
But that's down to
the Premier League. Checking red card.
But that is down to the Premier League, ultimately, because we are seeing it right now. We're seeing
the Club World Cup.
In the Club World Cup. But the problem is, Martin's right. The Premier League just won't bring it in, and that is why when you look at the Premier League, you go, "There's something fishy going on here." Why can you not do that? Like, bro, the rugby. I've witnessed it in rugby. Yeah, it's fucking brilliant in rugby. The way it's used, because ultimately, even if this is to do with respect towards referees, right? If the referee is mic'd up and cammed up and plays no right now, yeah, everything you say and do, potentially your fans are going to see. So if you're acting like an arrogant prick to a referee, your fans are going to see that. Players will think twice about the way they speak to referee, and vice versa. You see it in rugby. I've seen referees diffuse things like that, right? Because naturally, if a decision goes against you as a sportsman or in anything, right, it's very natural to not be angry, to be frustrated, right? So when you approach a referee after a referee has given a decision against you, you're naturally going to show frustration. The way the referees in rugby deal with it, hold on, I understand your frustration. Let me explain the reasoning behind my decision, and then if you're still frustrated, we can have a conversation, right? So straight away, the referee's being far more respectful to the player. So therefore, the players calm down. The player then listens to the referee. And the whole thing is that if you don't, you're going to look like a prick to all of your fans, right? Mm-hmm. And then once the referee's explained it, the player's like, okay, fair enough. Done. It's completely done respectfully. And I honestly do believe this is because cameras are on it, right? The minute there's no cameras, players can act however they want because the fans won't. Yeah. Remember, players care about how people view them. Like that is how they're making their money, their rights. So the minute they think, oh shit, someone's going to see me. If there was proof that Bellingham is as arrogant as we think he is, he wouldn't be worth half as much money.
And they've got sponsors, Daps.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a substitute coming off the pitch, right? They're emotional. They're absolutely, they stick a microphone and a camera in their face. Right there at that moment, he's not thinking about his sponsorships, what the managers. He's red, he's hot, he's emotional.
That's what we're looking for.
But the sponsors won't be looking for that down the road.
Well, that's his own fault. He gets paid a lot of money a week. We want to see that on TV.
What broadcaster was it that was doing who was it that covered some games this season and they were doing interviews at half time?
Is that Prime? Is that Prime or Paramount?
Now, if I'm a manager and a player is late getting back to the dressing room because he's having a fucking interview at half time, I'm livid. Yeah, that is one step too far. You can't be interviewing players at half time. Half time, nah, you can't. Half time for me is punditry.
Yeah, and the NFL they'll do it like when they're walking to the locker room or whatever.
But the rule in the Premier League is like someone's put in the comments, only the captain can get near the ref. But we're going to start interviewing emotional subs and managers at half time.
You can't.
But
for me, at half time, someone did know. But Martin, you say someone actually did it this season. There was a player being interviewed at half time, and it wasn't a player that had been subbed off. It was literally as the game finished, he stood behind for 2 minutes and had an interview. And I was thinking, hold on. The manager must imagine you're midway through a fucking speech, and a player walks in late. Yeah. You're going to lose your head. Bro, you're going to lose your fucking head, right? Imagine you're 2-0 down, half time, right? And a player walks in 2 minutes late and goes, sorry, Gaffer, I had an interview.
It's going to be good. It's going to be entertaining.
Pat's only after the entertainment side of this. He wants it all to kick off.
Okay. Let me be honest. I like two things, and I'm going to say them honestly. If the Prem do the intros, I'll be happy. If they do the assistant managers, not the players, the assistant managers, I'm okay with that. Look, at the end of the day, people are paying money for the TV. The TV companies know that a lot of viewers are going to dodgy boxes or dodgy TVs because they're like, okay, I don't really want to see but if you add fancy things, people might end up watching and paying for that fancy stuff. I can pay. Look, no, the other night I was close to paying for the design thing because he told me that if you play for premium, there's these things you can do.
You get no adverts. I did the exact same thing during the watch along and paid up for 20 quid.
You see,
I still got adverts.
The only time I've ever gone, fuck this, I'm paying, right, was I think it was when I very first got my Fire Stick, and it was like I got my Fire Stick a day before the derby, right? And 2 minutes into the derby, my Fire Stick started fucking up, and I just go, fuck this, jumped straight on Now TV and paid for it because I thought there's no way I'm missing this. But yeah, I do hear what you're saying about the entertainment side of things, Patrick. I do also think you're trying to rattle Martin, and I'm here for it.
No. I'm just saying that you must always remember this. Like, I get where Martin is coming from. Like, Martin is very traditional, and Martin, I understand the tradition in England, but I'm just saying where things are going. It's all money, money, money. This is the reason why I think seasons ago, you and Carl had an argument saying one day, remember Carl was telling you that I bet you there'll be a football league done in America. Do you remember when you said, no, they mustn't take the football to America? Look, it's happened now. People want money. Unfortunately, the stadiums are not filling up, but I somebody came back with me with stats saying some of these stadiums are too big, Patrick. Some of these stadiums are not meant for football, and they are too big. Trust me, they're still making some of the money back. But it's just that I get it.
It's made for NFL.
Yeah, like look.
They're always sold out to the NFL.
It's not even just that they're
because NFL's very different in America. That's like NFL in America is like football in England. It's the main
that's it.
sport.
It's not that it's NFL.
It's also in the winter, so it's not hot.
But those stadiums are made for not just NFL. They're made for anything that is big in America.
Concerts,
right?
yeah. And sometimes the college games.
At the moment,
the college stadiums are actually the biggest.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? That's,
like in Michigan, 100K.
Yeah.
That's why the biggest attendance record, it was Bayern Munich and Man United in a preseason game. They played it in at Michigan, and it has the biggest attendance, 100K.
Yeah, but that's just simply because, like, at the moment, football is where it is in America. Like, it's not a thing. Like, it just is where it is. And furthermore, this isn't like a one-off game. There's multiple games at these tournaments. So, like, I know the cost over there was probably quite a lot. So if you live in, I don't know, say Michigan as an example, and there's 6 games at that stadium in the next week and you're not a big football fan, you're going to pick one. You're not going to go to all 6. You're going to go to one of them.
Yep.
So.
And the thing is that, and this isn't, because I know some will say this about me and they'll do it badly, and I know Pat's trying to do a little wind up there. But the simple fact is, I've actually done, last year I was in America watching City. And like I said, it is night and day. I nearly got chucked out of the stadium because I thought I could sing like I was in the Etihad. I thought I could sing like I was in the Etihad, and I got nearly carted out the stadium.
Okay, wait, were you singing? Were you singing on your own?
Yeah, the games were really quiet yesterday.
Yeah,
that's
you can't.
part of the culture here.
No, you can't be swearing every 30 seconds, mate, over there.
Yeah.
I'll be gone.
Mate, I was nearly out. Someone, no joke, someone turned around and went, put that ref in jail. And me and Pat stood up. You know, me and Pat, we're gobby little bastards. So he stood up and went, referee, you're to see you next Tuesday. My God, the looks we got. I thought I was getting somewhere.
I've seen full-on brawls. In
America,
they don't separate the fans. That's why, because we don't have away section.
Surely you're allowed to swear if you're allowed to punch someone's face off.
It's a disaster. Oh God,
I've seen
you see it in baseball a lot. Oh, Giants and Dodgers.
Wait. Listen, I go on YouTube.
I go to Dodger Stadium, I see like 5 fights break out.
I go on YouTube to watch them, so I know it happens. So I'm thinking, what? So you're allowed to punch someone's face off at football, but you're not allowed to swear?
Dabs, that's funny, isn't it? Like, sorry, in America, after all that drama we see and your stadium slapping each other, throwing things at each other, you guys have a line that don't swear. That's gas. You guys, that's where you draw the line.
No. Like, people say what you want, right? I am kidding you. I've got witnesses.
That's fine.
I've got witnesses to it.
I believe you, Martin. I believe you.
People can say what they want. I've got witnesses to it. I had a woman next to me ordering a bear claw and all that. It was great fun. I was more buzzing that you could. It's like you
got a bear claw in a stadium.
Not a bear claw. No, what's that lager called?
A white claw.
White claw. That was it.
Yeah.
Honestly, you were getting beer served to you at your seat. I thought that was amazing. That was something I
they
do
do
want
that.
to bring in.
And
I do
you're
want to
allowed
bring that
drink at
into
your
the
seat, too.
Premier League. Yeah.
Bro,
Love
You're
that.
allowed to
hold
drink
on.
at your seat.
We're not allowed drinks at our seat in the Premier League, bro. So
Yeah,
we're definitely
you're not allowed
gonna be
any of that.
ordering,
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Well, no, you can go to a pub before the game, and both fans will be in the pub. Like,
At the end of the
there's
day,
no rules
it's
for
just
anything.
it's a cultural
Yeah, it
difference
is.
between. That's all it is. It's like I get, they did the American Wave when I was there last year, and me and Pat were singing away. What the effing hell is that? You do the if I started the bloody Mexican Wave in the area.
You just called it an American wave.
No, a Mexican Wave is what I said.
Yeah, show some
We
respect to the
we
Mexicans,
just call it
please.
the wave. Don't
I said Mexican Wave,
that's a
cheeks
little
off, which is fine.
American wave.
No, but I went to an ice hockey game when I was in
Dubs is
America.
just winding
It
you.
was wonderful. It was great. I think it's just football. I think
Who did you
football
go
is
see?
just. I think it's a
What
mentality thing.
what hockey game did you go to?
I went to see Quebec play.
I went to Orlando Magic basketball, which was
Oh.
pretty good.
See,
And I also went to, what was the bloody team called in ice hockey? I've seen Chicago. Is it the Eagle? What are they
Blackhawks?
called? They're like,
what about the Red
yeah,
Wings?
Blackhawks. I knew they would have
Detroit Red Wings are the best, didn't they?
been up
Yeah, they're
there.
pretty
The only thing
good.
I haven't been to, and I want to go to, is a baseball game. Not been to a baseball game, which I may do when I go over.
You're
next
gonna
year.
get bored.
I may look at a baseball
Yeah,
game.
it looks boring that to me. Do you know what I really
No,
want to
I
see?
don't. I wouldn't mind a bit of baseball.
Do you know what I
Basketball
really,
enjoyed.
I really want to see brought into football from ice hockey, where
The
you allowed
timeout
to have,
box.
when you're allowed to have a punch up.
Oh yeah, fight for fighting. Yeah, that's part of
I'm
the game.
telling you,
literally,
the
like,
amount of stuff.
fighting is part of the hockey game. Like every
But-
hockey game I go to, they fight, and then they get
It's
set in the
quality.
timeout
I've
box,
seen-
and then they come back out.
I've seen this one online, and it was like, I think it was like 12 or 13-year-old kids. The minute the whistle goes for the start of it, every single one of them on both sides drops their stuff and just run at each other and start punching.
Yeah.
Before it even starts.
but
You
Dubs,
get
but Dubs,
brawls. You get it in baseball too sometimes.
but Dubs, you stab each other. You know yourself. In England,
No,
the
really, you
stabbing-
can't. Hold on, you can't on the pitch. No, but I'm telling you, like, you see, like when Kyle Walker and who was it? Who was the mouthy bastard for Brentford? Well, he's mouthy whoever he plays for. The one that said something about Walker.
Oh, I
think
remember. He said something. I remember. Yeah.
Is he
they were-
French?
yeah.
Is he French? I think is he French? Well, whoever he was. What's his name? Mope. Yeah, Mope.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right.
He's Dutch.
See there, remember Walker went over to the referee and said, do something, I'm going to hit him. Yeah. Imagine, like, if someone's giving you shit repeatedly, that you could go over to the referee and say, listen, let me have a straightener with him quickly. And then after that, we'll get on with it, right? 10 minutes in the sin bin, both of you. That would be quality because it would just, and same with Gabriel and Haaland. Look, you two get a room, go and have 10 minutes against each other, right? And then, bro, if I want to see any entertainment brought to the Premier League, that's what I want to see. Fights. 5 minute straightener.
Fight for fighting. That's a penalty in hockey, literally. You get 5
You
minutes
can't
for
do
fighting.
that though.
Hey, no, I'll tell you what, it was. I love it. Like I said, I love the games. And Ed, who's in the comments, Ed Mancunian therapy, top guy, Ed. He was more smiling at my face walking around the experience of it because I'm like this loudmouth monkey. Like, what's all this? And I'm looking at Real Madrid shirts and Newcastle shirts and Liverpool shirts, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
this
do
is
that,
City
dude.
versus Barcelona. What's going
that
on?
was the same at the Super.
It's just because it's a spectacle. It's the spectacle of
Yeah,
it.
and I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And it's just, like I said, it's just a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's different.
Because
Like, I remember
I'm used to a loudmouth Etihad where there's like 15 police in between a bunch of fans.
Yeah,
I'm
No,
not, you know.
It's
I mean, we have police at our stadiums, but
like, so as an example,
we have jail cells in our stadium.
When we play Man United, there's almost like there's half a block between where they sit in the south stand and where we sit in the south stand. There is half a block between us, unoccupied, with not just police, tactical police there. Because if they are not there, it's a problem. But I do hear what you're saying, Martin, because when I was at the Super Cup in Athens, the first thing that confused me is when I got there and I'm in the city end and I'm seeing Ronaldo shirts, I'm seeing fucking Salah shirts, and I'm thinking, this is mental. It's just not something we're used to. I even found it weird when we played Bayern Munich in the Champions League because in Munich, you sit with you have your own section, but out the back where you go to get your drink and whatever, you're in with the Munich fans. And at the end of the game, you're allowed to leave with the Munich fans. Meanwhile, when we're in Bratislava, the minute we leave the square, we're all put on a coach with police escorts into the ground. You get off with literally about 1,000 Robocops stopping the away fans from getting anywhere. Right? The minute the game is over, the same thing. You're straight back on the coach, and the coach is police escorted quickly through with fucking Bratislavans by the side of the coach threatening to slit your throat and stuff. It's just very bizarre. Different places have different cultures, don't they?
Yeah, and that's all it is, just cultural thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So let me get this back to more football chat. Of the last 3 games, everyone, one by one, who has stood out to you the most? And it can be player or it can be member of the coaching team.
I'm going to get accused of glazing. Johnny Rangers.
No, please do.
Johnny Rangers.
I said Foden, actually, to me.
Yeah.
He's been extremely good.
Foden.
I just can't believe how quickly Tijani has fit in. Like, that has blown my mind. He looks like he's been here 5 years. And it's been 2 games.
That shows talent, doesn't it? It shows that sometimes you're too good. That's why when people are making excuses for Phillips and other people who have failed, you're like, look at some of these ballers who are coming in. Because Reinders just looks like he belongs in the team. At this point in time, I'm like, how is somebody going to dislodge him? But you know what? Let me say something, Daps, and I don't know if people are going to think I'm going to sound negative. It reminded me something. There's something that has actually not impressed me. I know you're talking about what has impressed you, but I want to talk about this. I am not happy by the treatment of Nico Gonzalez. Let me just land on this one. The fact that Gundogan was brought in yesterday, I didn't see the point of Gundogan being brought in. I was like, at least give Nico something. Gundogan has been playing. Give Nico Gonzalez. What's happening? Why is Nico Gonzalez like being put at the back of the line? Somebody told me, oh no, it's fine. He's young. He's going to. I was like, he was here in January. Give him some. Even yesterday when we were winning, I wanted to see Kusanov brought in for Akanji. Like, bring some of these guys.
So let me give you probably the most realistic answer that can be given, right? And people are straight away going to disagree with me, right? Maybe that ultimately, whether it be Kusanov, whether it be Nico Gonzalez, in fact, this is a fact right now. Pep Guardiola has seen Nico Gonzalez and Kusanov on the training pitch day in, day out for 5 months, right? You haven't. I haven't, right? So however much, prime example, I can sit here right now and say, I think Kusanov can do the right back job. Some people in the comments will disagree with me. Pep clearly disagrees with me, right? So we can sit here and say, it's not fair. It's not fair. Maybe Pep is seeing something on the, and whatever we say about, no, but that's, the truth is probably Pep has not seen enough of them being able to play the system yet. And that is the true answer. Yeah. Whether we like it or not.
That is exactly, right? I agree 100%.
That is the truth.
Agree with you.
No,
who's clapping hands? Who's clapping hands?
We can all straight away sit here and tell us how we think Kusanov is better than Diaz, or we think all these things we think, yeah? I think a lot of things, right? I'm wrong. Pep knows better than me. Pep's seen more of every single one of these players than any of us, right? We're allowed to disagree with Pep and we speak about it. But the truth is that there must be something at the moment with Nico Gonzalez that Pep ain't having. And the same with Kusanov. There must be.
Is he that bad, though? Every time he comes in, he doesn't look that bad.
Hang on, Victor Hayes didn't get on the pitch, Pat.
I don't care about him.
See, now, so you're doing the player FC bit now.
Because the haters will sabotage me.
And this is the thing, straight away, that's what happens, and then it's slander on Pep.
That's what I mean. Victor Hayes didn't get on the pitch.
This is the truth, bro. This is the honest truth. And by the way, I'm on your side because I want to see Gonzalez. I want to see Gonzalez.
I don't know. Okay. So
but sometimes you have to just accept. You have to, like, Pep's our manager, and I will always go back to this. I did not want Pep Guardiola to sell Joe Hart, right? That was the first thing that
a lot of people didn't.
And most of us disagreed with it. But guess what? If you have always dreamed as a football club to have a manager like Pep Guardiola, when he comes in and he makes a decision like that about Joe Hart, as a fan base, we had to just suck it up and go, do you know what? He knows what he's doing.
We ran Joe Hart out of town. We can run players out of town.
No, we didn't run. No, hold on. We didn't run
nobody ran Joe Hart out of town.
He got sold.
Joe Hart has a song about not riding him out of town.
Yeah.
Don't sell my heart, my Joey Hart.
The whole thing is, and for 10 months, we then had to sit there and go, oh, Pep, you know what, mate? You might have been wrong on this one, because it's not working. Then we went and got Edison, and what happened? So now again, we sit. And by the way, I'm not saying Pep don't get things wrong.
No, I have an answer for you though, Dabs, because I think you didn't get what I said. I said I get it. Like even if the people are not ready for the system, but come on. What the hell are you bringing Gundogan? Why are you bringing Gundogan on for?
Hold on. Let's just flip this.
So did Gundo deserve to be dropped?
I have a question.
He was man of the match.
He was man of the match the previous game.
Did he deserve to be on the bench?
But hold on, let's flip this. Let's flip this to a question back on you, right? Because me personally, I think it is just because at the moment Pep doesn't think he's ready, right? But let's flip it. Patrick, what do you think it is?
Basically, I just feel like there's certain players he wants to shoehorn, and he's trying to drop a few who maybe he says are too young and the one make noise. I think so. Let me land on this.
Over the years,
let me land on this. Is Pep a winner? No. Let me finish this. Let me land on this. I seriously think, because you know what, I would agree. If Pep Guardiola wants to start Akanji, wants to start Diaz, wants to start whatever, I get it. They are the guys who and they know the system. If you want to start Gundogan, I get it. It's just yesterday, Dabs, at 5-something. You can't tell me that you look at the bench and say, okay, Gundogan, you come in. Or you look at the pitch and say, you know what, Akanji, you are my senior player. I have seen already of you. Kusanov, come on, get 10 minutes. That's all I was looking for. But it's gone to the point where, look at that.
I'm pulling him. You said this wasn't a pre-season tournament. You said this was serious stuff, Patrick.
Yeah,
so
but
are you wanting to get serious, or are we doing Make-A-Wish?
I don't think you bring Kusanov for 10 minutes. Anything wrong happens. I don't think anything happens. I don't think anything happens.
So let me ask you.
This isn't Lotto winning,
Do you think Pep is a serial winner? Do you think Pep is someone that is fucking obsessed with perfection? Right. So do you think at 5, and furthermore, guys, let's remember, this is a season where we were 3-0 up in the fucking Champions League and we ended up losing, right? Or drawing, sorry. So this is a season where we have seen games we are winning very quickly turn on their head, right? So we can think that it's agendas if we want, yeah? For me, it's just Pep being a perfectionist and just thinking they're not ready. Like, let me be clear again. I want to see Gonzalez. I believe in Gonzalez. I believe in Huzanov. But if we're trying to make out that Pep is running an agenda, yeah, come on, man. It's not that.
Okay. Did you think Nico J? Honest, Patrick, we had this discussion. I've had this, and this is no joke. I like Nico J, and I think he's young enough, and I think he's going to be a superstar. In the last game against Alain, did you think he had a decent game?
Yeah, it was a decent game.
Yeah, he did. I thought he did.
That's where I thought it was our worst midfielder.
Who?
Nico J.
In what game?
Nico J.
Somebody been smoking and drinking.
Martin, did you say?
This is where I'll prove the agendas. This is where I'll prove the agendas. Right. Yesterday, Nathan Akanji made one mistake and everyone went, sell him. Right.
We've been saying that for a
Nico
while.
Gonzalez got absolutely wiped out in the midfield where it needed Ortega to pull a one up. No, stop that. No, see, you're doing it again. You are protecting your players.
Martin, let's be clear. The only people with an agenda, and this probably includes me slightly, includes Patrick, includes you, includes Kels. Pep Guardiola's agenda is winning. But our fan base, all of us, we have agendas, not Pep Guardiola. We all have agendas. Like the Kuzanov agenda, and I'm part of it. We've got a clear agenda that Kuzanov must be a star at Manchester City. We have formed this, like to the point where I said the other day that our fan base are going to fucking go into meltdown if we sell him, right? He hasn't done Kuzanov.
Oh yeah,
I'm not right.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, that is an agenda because Huzanov has not done enough for us to have an agenda backing him over Diaz. There's no way anyone can tell me, as a fan base, he deserves that agenda. But as fans, we build agendas, not the manager. The manager, come on, bro. The manager's agenda is fucking winning by any means. It's not like individual players.
Every manager's favourites too, though.
I will tell you the agenda with Pat and Kelson. They won't like this. They were the ones who started the Unks. You two were the ones that pushed the Unks thing for 6 months. And you all wanted.
You should have copywritten that.
You should have done. You'd have made millions, actually. Pat and Kelson have made millions off that Unks thing. But seriously, you wanted Gundogan, Bernardo, and all them out the door. You wanted them all out for all these fresh. Right, and that's what it's about. And but there's an old saying, Kelso, form is temporary.
Nick, you've got banter. Nick, you've got banter.
Form is temporary, class is permanent.
And there's another phrase: Father Time comes for everybody. Father Time has come for Gundogan.
Right. Well, if 30 years old, if 30 years is old, my God.
But also,
if 30 years is old, then we're all finished. We're all over the hill.
When you say, hold on,
yes.
Do you know what?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Modric, 37. What we doing here?
Be fair. Gundogan was man of the match in the last game, right? And by the way, again, I'm not here saying Gundogan should start every game, but this is what I mean by an agenda, right? The fact that you're saying this about Gundogan is an agenda because Gundogan is still good enough to be part of the squad.
Yes, but I'm thinking long-term of the squad, and I think we need to bed some players in. And if Gundogan is taking all those minutes up, those players can't bed in. And then when Gundogan's gone, we're starting from scratch. When we So do you want to win the league next season, or do you want to win the league in 4 years' time?
I want, but we can win it. We can win it without Gundogan. I think we can win it without Gundogan.
Of course we can. Of course we can. Of course we can.
I don't think our Premier League title hopes are resting on Ilkay Gundogan's shoulders, especially if everyone claims he's only going to play.
But at the end of the day, Kelso, what Nico G has to realise is he's understudy to Rodri, which Pep's already made out. In the big games when Rodri's fit, he's on the bench anyway.
Yeah, I know that. That's not.
So I don't get the big.
I want Rodri to play. I don't want Nico G playing.
Right. Here's the thing: we all wanted a big squad. This is the problem with the big squad. Mm-hmm. You can't all beg for a big squad and then go, "Why is my boy not playing?"
I'm sorry,
cool, man.
The way it works.
My NFL team, they used to sell players a year too early, and they kept winning.
It's not NFL. We're not NFL.
Yeah, but she's right though. Gundogan is taking a little bit.
It's not NFL.
Walsh. Look up Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh. That's the school of thought I come from. Bill Walsh.
Who the fuck?
You can't compare.
Joe Montana.
You can't compare football to NFL. Kelsey, you can't compare football to NFL. What we doing?
You can.
That's just where my mindset is coming from. That's all I'm trying to say.
You can, but the problem is, please use examples that we can get along with. Because I'm going, Bill Walsh. Yeah, Bill, go to the shower.
Just look up Joe Montana was the top quarterback in the game.
Oh, not good old Joe.
We sold him.
Oh, good old Joe.
We traded him. We gave his backup the starting role, and we won the Super Bowl.
This is what happens when you bring back Joe.
You can't take Joe Montana in as an example because that's unfair to the rest. Because Joe Montana was an exception.
Hey, he knows what I'm talking about at least.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm sorry, guys in the comments. Guys in the comments who are saying give Gundogan another season. No, I'm sorry, he has to go. I love him, but he has to go.
Yeah, he's on my list. He's
my favorite. He's on my list. By the way, he's my favorite City captain.
Smaller squad. Who goes? Are we just gonna get rid of the younger players?
But he's not going to go though. No. He's going to play. Like, he's going to be on the bench this season.
That's the question we keep circling back to.
But the whole thing is,
nobody wants to sell anybody.
And this is the thing. The realistic thing should be like, yes, Gundogan should go, right? But the problem is, it's harder, and we as a club have done it ourselves. That we've got a few players there that were on massive contracts that we probably would absolutely love right now for Gundogan for Kyle Walker, for
John
Calvin
Stones.
Phillips, for
John
Jack
Stones.
Grealish, for John Stones,
Stones.
for all of them to their contract to run out in June, right? But unfortunately, they're not. And then that makes it difficult getting rid of them. But then you look at the younger ones, and the younger ones, the difficulty there is that if you get offered money on the younger ones, that is straight profit on the PSR book, which is enticing to the club. Me personally, I would like to see like Rico Lewis. For me, I want to see him loaned out because I still believe in Rico Lewis, but I want to see him get proper game time in the right position elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you.
You know what? And worst case, I'm not even.
I wouldn't load him. Daps, I'd sell him.
But if we sold him, I'd want a very tasty buy-on
Wait.
clause.
Wait. Martin, what did you say? Martin, what did you say? What did you say about Rico? You're saying
I don't think he's good enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
This is what I mean.
You'd have to have a buyback, and you'd have to you'd have to have.
Listen, I'm not Alan. I'm not Alan just because he's from Bury. Just because the guy's from Bury, I want to give him a lifetime contract.
Question for you all quickly, because for me, this is the thing with City, right? Is you either loan players out or you sell them, but you sell them with a very nice buyback and and also a very nice.
He's paranoid about
a very nice sell-on. Have we got a sell-on on Cole Palmer?
No.
They wouldn't give us one.
I
They
think
wouldn't give us one. That was
That's
Cole.
Mad PTSD on that. Literally,
the City to get
rid of because of Cole Palmer.
The reason City got nearly 50 million was because they basically said to them, there was no sell-on. If you wanted it, it would be a lot lower. The thing is, what people got to realise, we're cushioning off Victor Hayes, etc. is what we're doing is, for me, just what I think we've just got ahead of the curve by a year. So in 12 months' time, there'll be players, 3 or 4 players that will dip out of contract, and we won't need to go to the market, maybe. You know, whether we like it or not, is we've for the first time in a long time, we're ahead of the curve. And people got to realise when we make signings of 1920, they're not always for straight away. They're 10-year players. Just let them develop, let them do good. Cushion off and Victor Hayes and Nico Gonzalez will have a long City career.
They need to play. That's the issue that Pat is bringing.
Yeah, but not all the time. But
not all the time.
Kelsey,
We're not advocating for them to start games.
You know,
every
they
game.
will get their game time.
But Kelsey, you can't just sit Bernardo and Gundogan on their ass on 300 grand a week and say, "Just see ya." Doesn't work that way.
Well,
yes,
most
you
of
can.
our new players,
it is easier, Kelsey.
Kanji on his ass for Victor Hayes because Victor Hayes costs more money.
No, he can't because Victor Hayes can't play right back, left back, midfield.
I think his build-up play is more valuable to our team.
Yeah, and Kelsey, what you got to realise is,
terrible, and
Kelsey, have a breath. What you got to realise is, Victor Hayes is being moulded into the new Akanji. Akanji will get phased out, but Akanji was 40 million quid, and whether you like it or not. Kelsey, whether you like it or not, he's a good player. This hate on the program, has gone wild now. Gone wild.
It's kind of Pep is one of Pep's favorites, and he plays more often than he should. When he's in bad form, he plays.
So what's his favorite?
Martin, all I gotta say is, Martin, all I gotta say is the two haters here, yeah, Patrick and Kelsey, they need to get with the program.
Pep knows more than you, Pat, Daps, all of us here combined.
Then why?
That's big. That's big.
Hey, Patrick, you need to get with the program.
That speech, I hate that speech. That big
what you don't like?
But Pat, he does. Pat, with respect, we're not managers. Dap said it. Dap said it.
Hey, Patrick, you and Kelsey.
I know.
No, Kelsey, no, you can have your opinion, but anyone over the age of 29 and 30, you've gone majorly bad on him.
Yep, me too.
Everyone, just the ones.
We have.
You're talking like 30-year-olds are bad.
I'll be honest with you. I've said this. Bernardo Silva is maybe not now, but up until last season, Bernardo Silva was my favourite Manchester City player in this current squad. Over Haaland, over Foden, over Rodri. I fucking love Bernardo Silva. So my agenda will always be naturally to defend Bernardo Silva. I get that, right? Mm-hmm. But we do like the one thing, and we all sit here and like think we know how good Huzanov is more than fucking Pep Guardiola does. He's in training with him every day. And furthermore, do you know what? It's not just Pep now. We do see that there's other coaches there that are also around these players every day as well. So there has to be, there's no smoke without fire. Like, these players are not seeing as much pitch because of something that Pep is seeing in them.
Yeah,
and
but
we either trust Pep or we don't.
Like, yeah, but can I say,
call him out, of course, but we either trust him or we don't.
Yeah, but
we all know the answer for that for some people.
You know what? I think I'm going to be honest with people. It's not even the fact that you say, oh, somebody knows more than Pep. I get where people are coming from. I think genuinely, like, I don't think Pep gives a shit. Number one, he's got favorites. I know them. Look. I've known this for years. I used to play football. I used to be the manager's favorite. He played me as a striker, and he would tell me on the side, Patrick, he's in more form than you, but I want you to do better. I want you to get in. I know his favorites. Kanji, he loves Akanji. Pep loves Akanji so much, he tried to make him a midfielder. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish on this.
Did he deserve to start the FA Cup final coming back from injury?
You honestly think, You honestly think that Pep's favoritism,
That's too simple, Patrick. That's too simple.
You think that Pep's favoritism, is more important to Pep Guardiola than winning trophies? Honestly.
I think Pep Guardiola, as we said, even pointing out throughout the seasons, he's got favorites sometimes that he loves them so much, he'll shoot them on in. It doesn't matter about winning the trophy. Pep Guardiola is the manager that can.
So you just said you think Pep would rather his favoritism.
Oh no! Let me finish this for you, right? Pep Guardiola, even though he's one of the greatest managers, has done things throughout at Man City where he wanted to shoehorn a favorite player in a game, and he's cost us. And the reason why we've not
Sterling
had
in the Champions League final, completely out of form.
No, but that's your way of looking at it. Your way is that he is shoehorning him in, whereas Pep's way of look, and it's because it's his favorite, right? Your whole thing is it's his favorite, right? You don't know that, right? What it could be, and I'm not saying I know this, but you have to look at other things. What it could be is that Pep actually thinks the player is better and will impact the game more, even out of position, because he is simply a better player, right? I'm not saying it's true, but you're instantly saying that's because it's favoritism. Or it could be that he just rates them more, right? It could
they've had a better week on the training ground.
It could be what they've seen on the training ground.
Isn't that the same as when we call people that you're glazing somebody? I think at the end of the day, I have seen Pep Guardiola.
No, because you don't see them train every day, Pat.
It doesn't matter, but what I see from there is, like, for instance, let me give an example. I told people, even I predicted it this season. And the funny thing is, I said it to people when Reinders came. I was like, Reinders reminds me of a Gundogan type player. Pep loves players like this, and he will favor him so much. We'll see him more of a DM than we'll see.
Yeah, but that's okay. I got that's
people's opinion. That's not a fact or truth.
That's the term favoritism, whereas actually that one is very fucking obvious. So there's a particular mold he wants, and Reinders fits that mold. It's not about favoritism.
Can I just kill? I'm going to kill Pat and Kelster's theory on this favoritism right now in one shot. Ilkay Gundogan against our line was outstanding. Assists, goals, all over the shop.
He was average.
Who was on the bench yesterday?
Nobody said
who was on the Kelster, who was on the bench yesterday? Because you say that's one of Pep's boys.
Then why didn't they start?
I know Gundogan was on the bench.
Who was on the bench?
Gundogan.
So he didn't
and then
start.
He subbed on.
So if Gundogan was one of Pep's boys, is that not Pep's perfect opportunity to go after the man of the match performance?
He still brought him.
You're starting.
And I don't think he's going to start a 35-year-old 2 games in a row in the Heat.
Well, he did.
But if it's his favorite,
he's trying to rotate players.
But I've just seen someone in the comments say, yeah, but Daps, he played his favourites last season, right? Again, you're not getting what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing that
he had more injuries than anyone last season.
But hold on. I'm not disagreeing.
Kind of had no choice,
No, none of that. I'm not disagreeing that he started Gundogan, he started Kovacic, he started Bernardo, and he started De Bruyne more, right? I'm not disagreeing with that. We all know who started. That's factual. What I am saying is there are two ways of looking at it. You can look at it as favoritism, but if you're going to look at it in all ways, you have to be fair and say it could also be because, quite simply, he thinks they're better footballers, right? He's still starting Gundogan. You could, over Nico Gonzalez, you could say it's because of favoritism, but none of us are Pep. We don't know it. It could also be because he thinks Gundogan is substantially better than Gonzalez, right? It could just be that. And again, I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but to say it's favoritism is an opinion. It's not a fact. It's not a fact because we don't know. And at the moment, so far, Gundogan is a better footballer than Gonzalez. Gundogan.
No, I'm going to say it. You've still got a downer on Pep. You've still got a question mark and a bit of a downer on Pep.
Who?
Hi, kids.
You and Pat have still got a little bit of a downer on Pep because you two were one of the two, and it's your opinion, it's fine.
Ooh,
who were a bit unsure on Pep. I was on enough shows. You two were a bit unsure on the Pep stuff.
But
you've still got question marks on Pep.
Oh, no.
And that's fine.
I've consistently been pepping. Consistently.
Patrick, have you got
come on.
I have consistently been pepping.
Pat, have you got secret accounts on X and you tweet?
Hey, Dubs, you know what I love about this?
I agree with you. He knows what he did.
You know what I love about
your manager. Your manager. It was always your manager. Never our manager, my manager. It was always your manager. Your manager.
Yeah,
because Dubs, you know what it is here? I'm glad Martin is here because
let's be honest here. Let's stop dancing around and let's get the truth out.
Wait, do I hear twerking in the background? Is that you, Adam? Are you twerking?
Hey, Martin, I'm glad you're here, man.
Out of here.
Martin, I'm glad you're here.
I have admitted I have PTSD from last season. I have PTSD
and you know what, Kelsey?
It's going to take me some time to get over that.
Right, exactly, Kelsey. That is fine. That is fine. That's no problem. That's fine. But let's do opinions and not facts.
Kel's most clear agenda, right, this week, because I've seen Kel's absolutely fucking glazing, PSG, to the point where I'm going to send her some PSG tops, right? She is let me land on this as well. She has been glazing PSG, right? And then obviously, when City the other day played a back four of Ake, Vitor Hayes, O'Reilly, and Rico Lewis, right? Kel's had things to say, which let me all be clear. I think we would all agree that was a rotated Manchester City, right? That defense was very rotated. Now,
I love the center back.
There was no glazing of Manchester City that day, right? Even though we rotated.
You should read my Twitter feed when I'm watching a game. I glaze everybody.
PSG lose. And all of a sudden, there's plenty of talk of, that's because they rotated. Well, why don't we talk about when City
You don't look at my Twitter feed. You don't.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I said I loved Ake and Victor Hayes.
Do you know what? Unlike Kel, Kels can sometimes be a bit nice and soft. I can't. I'm sorry. I can tell you straightforward. Even Pep Guardiola is our manager, one of the greatest managers I've ever seen. I have picked up mistakes every season. I flipped a switch. Look, I flipped a switch with the Leon thing. Let me talk about let me cook on favorites. This guy was playing Eric Garcia against Lyon and left Johnson and Otamendi, who are the other senior players.
But again, Patrick, on that, you've decided, right, if Pep ever plays, because, right,
Garcia was never Pep's favorite. Anyway.
You know what? It was because It's because he clearly saw it. And again, you can say it's because of favoritism, and you might be right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you could also say it's because he thinks Garcia against European teams is more suited to that play.
No, Garcia was cheeks. Garcia was cheeks.
But you could also say that is the reason. We always do these things, and this is the thing. People always say Pep overthinks, right?
It does.
Okay, so let me break down overthinking. Let me break down overthinking, right? Every single football manager in this fucking world better be overthinking every single fucking game of football, right? Otherwise, why are you being paid? If you're not thinking about how to beat that team, what the fuck are you doing as a manager, right? Go and do a different job, right? But here's the thing. Pep Guardiola is one of the biggest winners of all time in Premier League football, yeah? So if we're going to say he's overthinking, guess when we say it? When he loses games. And guess what? He doesn't lose many fucking games. You never hear Pep is overthinking when he's winning games. So ultimately, Pep is one of the least overthinkers. Other managers need to overthink a lot more, right? Because he's a serial winner. So this overthinking thing is just Pep doing his job. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For Pep, it works far more than it doesn't work. Otherwise, he wouldn't have all the trophies he's got.
Yeah, that is true. Wait. Let me. Kimber, wait.
You're saying Garcia was never ever Pep's favorite. He barely used him in some games, so you can't say that Garcia was a favorite. He even told Barcelona when Garcia went to Barcelona, he said, "Look up. Yes, he's good going forward, but it's horrible in a defense. He's not a good defender." He even said that to Barcelona. No. He was never, ever Pep's favorite in any way. That is so bullshit.
By the way, Patrick,
that is BS all the way.
Really true,
what I'm doing here as well, yeah. Don't think that I disagree with you as far on Garcia. I fucking hate Garcia, and I hate that Pep kept starting him. I hated it, bro. He's one of the only players, apart from maybe Milner, that I refer to as a fucking snake. I hate Garcia, right? I hate him, right? When City Extra wish him happy birthday, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing wishing that guy happy birthday, right? But
he loved him, though. He loved him.
To presume that he started because he's Pep's favourite, that's what I've got. That's what I'm disagreeing on. I agree with you. I wouldn't have started.
Do you think he loved him because he was a Barcelona boy?
Yeah.
No, it's nothing to do with it. He didn't love him at all.
Patrick, you need to.
And I actually remember
he didn't love him. He used him when he could, and when he thought he would be good. That's
do you know when he played him against? Was it Leicester City?
Oh, he was bad.
Right. Do you remember? Do you know it came out weeks later? Do you know why he played him? Yeah, he was trying to get him in. He wanted him to stay, and he was trying to get him a new contract.
Do you know who's
now? Yes, Pep makes mistakes. 1000%. Pep Guardiola makes mistakes.
What did you say, Martin? Martin, say that again. Martin, say that again. Say that again, Martin.
Pep Guardiola makes mistakes.
No. Not that the Leicester City thing. Why he played Garcia?
To try and get me.
There was a rumor at the time he wanted to offer him a new contract.
Why?
Patrick, no, this is my point. This is my point. I will stick all Guardiola's mistakes on one side of a piece of paper. I get probably a quarter away, halfway down. I put his trophies on the other side of the paper. I need 2 fucking books to fill it all in. I know which one I'm going with. I'm going with the guy who wins trophies everywhere he damn well goes. Yeah. Has one of the highest win percentages ever in the Premier League, and because we lose a few games and Pep makes up, because he has to. The thing is, you can't just play the same 11 every week. You've got to rotate it. You've got to, whether you like it or not. And when you've got a 30-man squad, we're going to have to rotate now. I know which one I'm putting my money on.
That Leicester game was mental. Remember that?
Yeah, and Lyon, and then he does the same thing for Lyon.
Bro, that Leicester game though, yeah. I don't know if any of you lot remember, right? But that for me was Mendy started, right? And Mendy had a good opening 15, 20 minutes. And I remember saying to my mate, he was like, this Mendy's so sick. I said, bear with me. There's going to be a bozo moment. And I think it was Leicester's goal to go 2-1 up. He made 3 mistakes. He was like left back. He ended up on the right wing. Then he ran back, brought a player down, and then in the resulting free kick, didn't stay with the runner. That was the last we saw of him. But can you remember the other results that day? That was the most bizarre day in Premier League history. So we lost 5-2 to Leicester. I think it was a Sunday in the 2 p.m. game, yeah? And I was thinking, I am going to get cooked. And then I think Liverpool lost to Aston Villa, something like 6-2. And then Man United. Can you lot not remember that day? It was like City, Liverpool, and I think Man United all got smashed all in one day. It was the most bizarre day ever. I need to find out.
Wait. So are you trying to say that it wasn't on Garcia and them, man? It was just the day.
Nah, bro, we were shit. That was start of the season. City. That was.
Remember, we got Diaz, right?
Yeah, we got Diaz just after.
Yeah, Liverpool. I think Liverpool lost 8-2 to Aston Villa that day.
Diaz, pay the money for it.
Wait. Gunderolian, are you here? Carl, are you here?
I just heard Carl.
Well, Carl, are you here? Yeah, he's
it's
here. No, Carl is here.
Yeah.
Which one's Carl?
No, Carl is
the one that says pitch point.
Oh, what are you saying, Carl? Long time no speak.
It's been a while, man. Have you been busy?
Yeah, Carl, I wanted to hear from somebody from America, and obviously you told me in the group that you just want to win. Yeah, Carl, are you not happy with those World Cup intros and the way it's good? I think sometimes on TV we want to enjoy this.
I like it. I don't have a problem. As long as we win, I don't care.
Are you looking forward to winning the World Cup, the Club World Cup, though yourself?
Of course. Why not? Heck, you know, so far, with the games we played, we paid for. All the money we got so far.
I think it's quite enough, isn't it?
Yeah, but what he said is so far he's right. So far we've earned enough money to pay for Turkey.
Yeah.
Give me the money, man. Give me the money.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
Yeah, this is what I told you guys.
I loved because the game yesterday was quick, sharp, dynamic, quick. That's all I've been asking for, mate. That's all I've been asking for.
Yeah,
it was just.
What about
slow last season? Yeah, that was a big part, I think, for Carl last season.
Wait, what about Spartacus? Spartacus, are you here with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Hold on, is this Spartacus that wants to talk
the
about
Pedri guy?
Pedri?
Talk about Pedri. We're signing Pedri.
Where's
Good
Martin?
evening, everybody.
Look at Martin sneaking.
Martin's gone.
left.
Yeah, I noticed that.
No, Martin has a show. No, Martin has a show. He left a message. He's got the show. He has to start off his show. Guys, I'm gonna transfer you to Martin after this. But I wanted Spartacus to speak. So Spartacus, am I wrong to say Pep Guardiola has favorites? Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he does glaze a few players over others.
I think everybody does have favorites, but I think, for example, the Gundo thing, I have a different perspective to everybody as well, actually. I think he's playing Gundo a lot because this is probably his last tournament for City.
Patrick, I can tell you.
He wants to give him a good vibe.
About that. I never got the chance.
Right? I'll tell you. As myself, all managers have favorites. We all have our favorites. It's just the way it is, mate. Right?
But do you think Pep Guardiola would play players based on? All right. Do you think, say Pep has favourites, would you say that is based on the fact that because he thinks they're better in his system?
He trusts them. He's in love with them.
Yeah.
But hold on. Remove the emotion, because the minute you say love, that is then emotion. So remove the emotion for a second. Is it because, so let's say Gundogan is one of his favourites. Is Gundogan his favourite because he trusts him and because he thinks he knows his system and so therefore he's going to carry out better than if he was to play Gonzalez?
That's what he does. He trusts him. He knows him. He's going to play
brought him back. After he let him go, brought him back.
And here's the thing, like, I hate to say it, but and people never want to talk about this, but the back end of the season, right? I will say Gonzalez coming in, Marmoush 1,000,000% coming in, even Huzanov and even Vitor Hayes. They all played their part in Manchester City getting Champions League football. Even if it was Vitor Hayes playing a couple of games in the FA Cup, what that meant is that some players got rest, right? Gonzalez playing overall 16 games, I think, or 18 games he contributed in, right? Again, that contribution helped to give rest to the rest of the team. But people never want to admit that the back end of the season, when we were the most in form in the Premier League, factually, from January through till May, Kovacic, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne were still the four main starters, right? So is he wrong to trust them? Because they got the job done when the chips were down. So is he wrong to trust them?
And also,
no, he's not right. He's right. So I don't have a problem with that, mate. I have no problem with it.
what
I'm saying is that now that I see that he's changing.
Yeah.
And the way we played yesterday, I'm like,
yeah.
From day one, I'm going to give that manager another shot. I'm going to give him another chance.
Give who?
Carl was Pep out for a long time.
Hold on. Give who another chance?
No.
I mean, those who know me, right? Those who really
he gives him another chance every year.
my problem was that last really let himself down in many things. And that's what's important, man. You know, he recovered.
Yeah.
Look at where we are now.
Yeah. But I do agree with you. What I would like now is that, like, and I do think with Pep Linders there, I even think with Viana there, I even think maybe even with Khaldoon there, that what I would like to think, right, is that after yesterday's game, as an example, like, Pep will sit and look at the way we played yesterday, the speed of the passing yesterday, and then look at remember how we were last season and think, yeah, do you know what? Gundo shouldn't be starting for us no more because the ball is moving faster when Gundogan. And I think we are seeing a Pep that is open to things a little bit more. And I hope that if not, then he's got Pep Linders, Colo, and them man to tell him.
But I think he's going to use, but he will use Gundo, but he will use him as a sub for the last 10, 15 minutes when he's fresh and he can use his speed and everything else.
To do what though? What doesn't he just send Gundo like away? Like he's done enough.
Kimba, do you remember Pep Linders was telling Gundo, that's about speed, man. It's about
because he doesn't have the speed anymore. Gundo doesn't have the speed anymore.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. I agree.
You know what? What I would say is
it's sentimental to me.
No. Hold on.
And I think a tiny bit of ruthlessness needed.
Let's take it back to tactics, right? When you are winning, when you are leading a game, it's all great, and I agree. Moving the ball fast pace, right? It's no coincidence that when teams look static, when all of a sudden they start moving the ball about faster, it usually results in a goal, right? When you watch it, you sit there up until halftime going, the ball is being moved about way too slow. You see the speed of the ball being moved up, and all of a sudden you look a lot better, right? But when it's say you're 1-0 up, 2-1 up, right, in the 75th minute, and the other team are now trying to play at a fast pace, right? That is where experienced players coming on and slowing down the game and frustrating the team works, right? Yeah. It does work. Even little things like running the ball to the corner when it's the 82nd minute, it's annoying, but running the ball to the corner, you see elder, more experienced players do that. You see young players, great example with Jack Grealish against Real Madrid, when he nearly scored, hit the post. But he should have run the ball to the fucking corner. Shouldn't have been trying to hit the post, right? Not in that time at the Bernabeu when you're winning. You don't do that. So it's those little things.
Grealish, so of course he's going to try to hit the goal.
Yeah. He don't usually try and fucking shoot, does he? But anyway, the thing is, that is where the last 10, 15 minutes, bringing on a bit of experience sometimes really, really helps. I remember at the back end of last season, I saw the uncles on slowing games down and completely controlling it when we were leading games. That's what you need. That's what Gundogan, I honestly think, was brought in for. It's just because of injuries, everything changed.
Yep. And also at the same time, what a very good thing that we do when we're playing our best is just changing the tempo of the game. We can go from playing slow to playing fast, literally with one pass. And this change of pace is the thing that really kills defenders. Because when you keep just playing fast, the defenders are used to that. And they just thinking like, I got to think what they're going to do, and they're going to do it fast. But if you're just passing the ball around like very slowly, and then out of nowhere, you turn the pace up and you attack and you go direct, this is where you catch defenders off guard. Take a look at the first goal for Doku. We were playing the ball slow, but then one pass, Doku makes a movement. The fullback doesn't quite know how to track him, and I know he has a pass to get to Doku. Doku makes a cutback and scores the goal. If we just keep playing fast, probably that defender stays with Doku and doesn't give the space for him to get the ball.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. You know, on that note, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this off. But I appreciate everybody. I appreciate Martin, Kelks, Dabs, Kimba, even Carl for his 1 minute cameo that we did not really rate. But anyway, Adam, big up for coming on, and all the guys in the chats. Appreciate you. Look, guys in the chats, don't take it personal. Everybody here, we're just doing debates. I think some of you guys take it personal.
We're all friends. We're all friends.
If you take it personal, I'm gonna just trigger you every stream. I would love just to trigger you every stream. Look, on that note, man, don't forget to subscribe to We Are the South Stand. Daps usually has me on in the morning sometimes when I wake up, and sometimes on a Wednesday, and he usually has a lot of guests, which is good. Don't forget to subscribe to Pitch Points. If Carl ever wants to bring back his channel, but I always keep it alive by streaming there also. Oh, don't forget to subscribe to Mankinian Way. Martin, I've been trying to link to you, but you're not live and I can't link to you. But guys, go to Martin's channel.
Lazy,
he says,
Martin, very lazy.
Yeah, very lazy. He says he's gonna rant about the fact that there's gonna do halftime interviews. I want to watch that.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get the link and go and wind him up then.
Yeah, but Martin hasn't set it up yet. I don't know why he hasn't set it up. On that note, anyway, I know a lot of people were asking that where's the KS show with Hamza. Hamza is at work. That's the issue. When he's at work, it's difficult to get on with him. But I'll leave you with this.
Sit there, please. Take your inhaler. Put it there and put my mouth. You see that? And tell me, breathe in. Hey, he's gonna bring inhalers. He's bringing inhalers, bro. And then we're gonna
wins tackles. It's a title winner. Perfect end to a perfect day. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 1. Oh, what a hedge! Oh, that's electrifying! Hat-trick hunting, trick getting. Still the appetite is there for more. Oh, it is sensational!